Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The End of the World. Obtain a fishing system and Chaos God Thunder at the start. Chapter 41. Combat Strength. 389 points. Yi Feng was delighted. There was a slight mist of moisture in the room, and the water in the hot pot was already boiling. Gulu, gulu. The aroma of butter hot pot base gradually spread throughout the room. Yi Feng put the mutton, meatballs and other ingredients into the pot, and then took out his mobile phone. Found several unread messages. Yi Feng flicked his fingers. The message was sent by Zhao Wumei. Zhao Wumei. Yi Feng, my superpower has awakened. Zhao Wumei. What I awakened is the legendary power, Thunder Lord. Then came her series of emoticons. I can control thunder. This power is so powerful. I simply can't imagine how strong you are, Yi Feng. Zhao Wumei's joy was beyond words. The corners of Yi Feng's mouth rose. He was truly happy for Zhao Wumei. The awakened ones with legendary powers have already stood at the top of the pyramid of human powers. As far as Yi Feng knows, legendary powers are the strongest powers. I have never heard of anyone having a mythical power. Yi Feng continued to slide the phone screen. In addition to the news about Zhao Wumei, Lin Xiaoxiao at home also sent several messages. Yi Feng clicked on it and saw that they were all words of concern. Lin Xiaoxiao. Yi Feng, I miss you so much at home. Lin Xiaoxiao. Yi Feng, you must pay attention to safety outside. Yi Feng smiled. Yi Feng briefly teased Zhao Wumei. To Lin Xiaoxiao, Yi Feng told her that he was in good condition and everything was safe. After a while, the hot pot soup continued to boil. It's time to eat. Yi Feng picked up the chopsticks, eagerly picked up a piece of mutton, dipped it in the sauce, and put it into his mouth. Not bad, so delicious. The fresh aroma of mutton slightly stimulates Yi Feng's taste buds. Yi Feng nodded with satisfaction. Another piece of shabu shabu tripe. Really delicious scent. Cool. I opened another bottle of Feijai Happy Water, which was just right to relieve my tiredness. Tasty. Yi Feng ate happily and enjoyed the food. Time passed quickly. Yi Feng burped comfortably and put down his chopsticks. After filling your stomach, Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly and he tapped his fingers lightly on the table. The current reserves of supplies are already very abundant, enough to survive the early stages of the Doomsday smoothly. Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly and he murmured to himself. If I want to build up my power, it's important to stock up on supplies. If I don't want to build power, ordinary supplies don't mean much to me. After all, for powerful superpowers, after the middle of the apocalypse, there are already better choices for food. Yi Feng's eyes kept flickering, and important time points in his past life kept appearing in his mind. The first important time point is the 7th day of the end. Starting from this day, zombie crystal nuclei will appear in the heads of some zombies. Zombie crystal cores can be used to enhance strength, which is extremely important for human superpowers. The second important time node is the 10th day of the end. To be precise, it started on the night of the 9th day. The blood mist thickens, and opportunities descend from the sky. A large number of plants, animals, and objects will undergo collective mutations. The third important time point. Every change in Blue Star will profoundly affect and change the living conditions of human survivors. Human survivors, under the disasters one after another, evolve step by step and struggle to survive. Under the mutation, various mutant plants and mutant beasts containing energy will also be born one after another. For many powerful people with powers, the ordinary materials produced before the end of the world will be difficult to meet their needs for physical activities. Just because as the level of the superpower increases, the power of the superpower gradually becomes stronger, and at the same time, the essence of life will also change. For those with special abilities, the mutated food produced after the disaster is more suitable for their physical conditions. Thinking of this, Yi Feng narrowed his eyes slightly. Whether it's the mutant wheat or corn born after the disaster, or the mutant cows that produce fresh milk, or the mutant pork that tastes great, they're all perfect for ordinary supplies. Long-term consumption will have great benefits for the body of the superpower, and can even slightly increase physical strength. Ordinary food before the end of the world was for ordinary survivors and low-level superpowers. In the last life, Yi Feng ate half of a barbecue mutated swan meat by chance. The aroma, taste, and texture. Thinking of this, Yi Feng couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. Can't think too much. Yi Feng shook his head and swore secretly in his heart. He must stand at the top in this life. Destroy all enemies. All kinds of mutated food, you have to eat until you vomit. After coming back to his senses, Yi Feng focused on the storage space and began to count the supplies. Beef, mutton, pork, chicken, duck, seafood, the materials in the space are enough to feed oneself for 1,000 years. When the second mutation hits in the future, various mutated animals and plants will spring up like mushrooms after a rain. Yi Feng will no longer be able to eat these ordinary foods. And Yi Feng is not planning to establish any big power. At most, he can build a small team to support himself and serve him to improve his personal strength. Thinking of this, Yi Feng smiled. When collecting supplies, just let it happen and you don't have to do it deliberately. But if you don't buy supplies, what will you do now? Killing zombies. Currently these zombies do not produce crystal nuclei. Some of the opportunities I know about have not yet occurred. Considering the butterfly effect, Yi Feng decided not to interfere too much in advance. Apart from this, there seems to be no other way to become stronger. How about, go home and rest? Yi Feng thought of Lin Xiaoxiao's towering stature and round buttocks. For a moment, I felt a little distracted. No, Yi Feng. How can you be so lazy? Mutated zombies can produce crystal nuclei. And now that the apocalypse has just arrived, the resources for beautiful women are particularly abundant. In the future, beauties will become increasingly rare and rare. After all, the awakening of human beings to become superpowers has nothing to do with beauty and ugliness. Most beauties are not supernatural beings. In the middle of the apocalypse, even beauties rarely have perfect bodies. Although Yi Feng doesn't have that plot, he will naturally love his woman even more if she is perfect. Therefore, taking advantage of the early days of the apocalypse, it is the right thing to recruit more beautiful subordinates. At this moment, Yi Feng's cell phone vibrated. He looked down and saw several text messages asking for help. Yi Feng, I saw a video about a person with superpowers on the city forum. The figure seems to be you. If you have the ability, please help me, I'm at my wit's end. Messages for help were everywhere, and Yi Feng just glanced at them casually. After Yi Feng saw clearly who the sender was, he couldn't help but narrowed his eyes slightly, and the corner of his mouth evoked a smile of interest. It's actually her. The person asking for help is the #1 campus beauty of Zhongcheng University, Nan Shien. A girl who can be described as charming the country. Yi Feng couldn't help but fall into memories. He is a graduate of Jiangsu University. In his senior year, Nan Shien had just become a freshman. When she first entered the campus, Nan Shien overwhelmed the entire school with her absolute beauty. With her supermodel-like figure and stunning looks, she overwhelmingly became the well-deserved #1 campus beauty of Zhongcheng University. And now, Yi Feng's eyes flashed and the corners of his mouth curved. Such a beauty is at the end of her rope. Nan Shien has a beautiful face. As long as the men who have seen Nan Shien, ranging from an 80-year-old man to an 8-year-old child, there is no one who thinks she is not beautiful. Yi Feng is no exception. In Zhongcheng University, there was once a saying, "Who doesn't like Nan Shien?" However, Yi Feng is very loyal to love. With Li Yachting, he did not deliberately contact Nan Shien. I only exchanged contact information with Nan Shien during an activity organized by the school. Later, I had several communications with her due to school affairs. Then Yi Feng graduated. That is to say, Nan Shien is still alive. Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly. After the end of the previous world came. Yi Feng once inquired about Nan Shien. It is said that Nan Shien did not awaken as a superpower. Therefore, as an ordinary person, she died early in the early days of the end of the world. Yi Feng didn't even know whether Nan Shien died at the claws of zombies or at the hands of others. It can be said that beauty has a bad fate. At this moment, Nan Shien sent another message. Yi Feng, I don't know if you can see this message or if you will come to save me. But I have no other choice. I have done everything I can, and the rest can only be left to God. Here's what happened to me. Yi Feng looked at the phone. Nan Xien's subsequent message roughly described the life crisis she encountered. Yi Feng flicked his fingers and read about it. For more detailed information, Zhongcheng University Campus Forum has. Yi Feng switched the browser, clicked on the Zhang University forum, and browsed through it briefly. Then he put down his phone. The situation is basically under control. Library, terrible mutated monsters, death of superpowers. There was a hint of amusement in Yi Feng's eyes. Turn out to be. A terrifying mutant beast is currently occupying the library of Zhongcheng University. This has been going on for several days. Therefore, the library at this moment has become a restricted area in Zhong University's life. Nan Shien probably died here in her previous life. Yi Feng thought for a while, picked up his phone and started to reply to Nan Shien. I am Yi Feng, and I am also the superhuman in the video. I saw your distress message and learned that you are in desperate situation at the moment. I have the power to deal with this monster and rescue you. But everything has a price. What can I gain if I risk my life to save you? Several minutes passed, no response. Yi Feng thought for a while and dialed another voice. No one heard. Yi Feng frowned. Could it be that Nan Shien is gone now? Thinking of Nan Xien's tragic death at the claws of zombies, Yi Feng couldn't help but look sad. Pity. A girl like a flower. Yi Feng didn't feel too sad. He stood up and prepared to put the remaining hot pot ingredients back into the storage space. At this moment, Yi Feng frowned slightly. Someone is approaching. Yi Feng listened quietly. After a moment, a sneer appeared on his lips. Outside the room, a young man and woman approached the door quietly. The man is holding a crossbow and has a resolute face. The woman frowned and held a kitchen knife. Little sister, have you really seen clearly? There is a man eating hot pot in our house right now. The man asked softly. Even now, he still can't believe that such an outrageous thing happened before his eyes. When most people don't have enough to eat, some people are eating hot pot. What the hell, in your own home? That's outrageous. Brother, I can't be wrong, are you still worried about my powers? The woman replied in a low voice. They are a brother and sister. At this moment, I went out to look for food and came back, but found nothing. My sister has awakened a rare power, perception. My brother owns a crossbow and has excellent shooting skills. Hearing his sister's words, the man narrowed his eyes, thoughts flashing in his eyes. After a moment, he said in a fierce tone. In this case, we are just like how we dealt with that pervert Wang Cheng last time. You go in first to seduce him and attract his attention, and I will hide behind you and kill him with one arrow. Wang Cheng was their neighbor. The day before yesterday, the brother and sister used a honey trap to successfully break into their neighbor's house and killed the unsuspecting Wang Cheng. After hearing this, the woman hesitated for a moment and said, Brother, I think this person has an extraordinary background. Should I get him to join us? Confused, a big fat sheep comes to your door. How can you not take action? Besides, we are about to run out of food. If we don't get some food, we can only go so far. So, kill him. The woman was a little silent. The step my brother mentioned is actually cannibalism. Strike first to gain advantage, then strike later and suffer disaster. I will definitely kill this person. Sister, can you help me? The man said with a frown. Okay, brother, I'll do as you say. The woman finally nodded. What a pity, such a handsome young man. Inside the house, Yi Feng sat at the table with a calm expression and continued to eat hot pot. Suddenly, there was the sound of a key opening at the door. Yi Feng looked up. After the door opened, a rather revealing and pretty woman walked in. The woman pretended to be shocked and exclaimed softly. Ah, who are you? Yi Feng looked calm and did not answer. The woman felt that Yi Feng's reaction was a bit strange, but she could only act according to the script. The woman timidly said, Why did you break into my house? My house doesn't have anything of value. As she spoke, she raised her eyes and looked into the house. After she gets a clear look at the situation inside the house. I was stunned for a moment, and my heart was full of shock. How is this possible? It's too exaggerated. The steaming hot pot is cooked with tempting meat slices, and there are a large number of hot pot ingredients, various vegetables, meatballs. The aroma of hot pot fills the entire house. The woman's perception is limited, and she only saw Yi Feng eating hot pot before. She really didn't expect that Yi Feng's hot pot ingredients would be so rich. Suddenly, her eyes were filled with greed, her throat was squirming slightly, and she couldn't help but swallow her saliva. The aroma of hot pot base and meat wafts in the air, it's so fragrant. The woman looked at Yi Feng. He looks handsome, has a tall and straight posture, and exudes a very comfortable atmosphere all over his body. What a handsome man. But, the woman glanced at the rich ingredients on the table again, with a hint of murderous intent flashing in her eyes. Handsome guy, should be killed. Why do you live so happily when we eat glutinous rice bran? Handsome brother, can you give me some food? I can do whatever you want. The woman puffed up her plump breasts. Flirting and posing, try your best to show off your beautiful figure. Yi Feng glanced at her, unmoved. Compared with Lin Xiaoxiao and Zhao Wumei, women are far behind. I was just passing by here, borrowing the place to have a quick meal. Yi Feng said and stood up. The woman rolled her eyes secretly. You call this sumptuous hot pot meal a casual meal? Little brother, look here. The woman took off her coat, revealing a flash of snow-white spring light. Yi Feng heard this and looked up. Call out. Between the lightning and flint, a sharp arrow shot through the air and flew towards Yi Feng. Go to hell. The man walked out from behind the door with excitement in his eyes. He is extremely confident in his archery skills. The hot pot man in front of me is dead. However, the next moment, the man's smiling face suddenly froze. He looked at Yi Feng in disbelief, unable to believe his eyes. It turned out that Yi Feng easily caught the flying crossbow arrow with only one hand. Catch it, caught it. The woman was also dumbfounded and her eyes were filled with disbelief. This is impossible. The man's eyes widened, and his heart was horrified. Catching a crossbow arrow with bare hands, is this still a human being? Could it be, he is also a superpower? Yi Feng looked at the two of them with cold eyes and said slowly. Shoot me, then give it back to you. When the man heard this, his expression changed wildly. The woman's face also changed drastically, she turned around and ran outside. Yi Feng flipped his wrist, and the arrow in his hand flew out instantly. Call out. The sharp arrow first penetrated the woman's neck, and then shot into the man's heart. Puff, puff, kill two birds with one stone. Yi Feng killed two people with one stone. The two fell to the ground dead, blood slowly flowing out. Until they died, their faces still maintained a look of horror. Yi Feng's expression was calm and calm. He will show no mercy to anyone who tries to harm him, no matter who they are. There is only one end, and that is death. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng put the remaining hot pot ingredients into the storage space and then came to the window. Jump down. The wind whistled in Yi Feng's ears. Snap. Yi Feng tapped the wall with his toes and slowly landed on the ground. Although the sound of landing was slight, it still alerted the surrounding zombies. However, when they looked up, they found no target, they could only continue wandering with a blank look on their faces. Yi Feng walks on the street. Just then, his phone vibrated. Yi Feng took out his cell phone and glanced at the message, his eyes flashed with joy. The message was from Nan Shien. Senior Yi Feng, you can make any conditions. I especially need the help of superpowers here. Then the second message came. Senior Yi Feng, where I am now is the second library of Zhongcheng University. My location is the reading room on the west side of the third floor. We are being targeted by a mutant dog with extremely terrifying strength. I don't want to deceive you. This mutated dog is very powerful. It has an awakened person with epic powers. It died tragically in its hands. There is also relevant news on the internet. The entire Zhongcheng library has become the territory of this mutant beast, and it is also a restricted area for humans. We are unfortunately trapped here, and we may die at any time. Nan Xien's words are full of anxiety. A trace of joy flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. The school goddess is still alive, and living an extremely difficult life. This situation is simply great. The corners of Yi Feng's mouth raised slightly. This situation is just convenient for oneself to add insult to injury. No, it should be a timely help. As for a terrifying mutant dog, is Nima's thing causing trouble? At this point in time, a creature more terrifying than myself has not yet been born. Yi Feng responded immediately. I can rescue you. It's just a mutated dog. It may seem very strong to you, but to me, it's just like that. After the message was sent, Nan Shien responded just a few seconds later. Great, Senior Yi Feng, come and save me. You are such a good person. Yi Feng, mad, send me a good guy card. Little girl, I will let you see the dangers of the world. Sorry, I'm not a good person. I have sent a message before. There is no free lunch in the world. If you want to survive, you must make corresponding efforts. There are conditions for me to save people. Nan Shien, what conditions? Yi Feng, the condition is extremely simple, just be my woman. Yi Feng has fallen in love with her for more than a day or two. So let's get straight to the point here. Simple, direct, crude and hassle-free. What, you said you can't do this to chase a goddess, you have to cultivate feelings. Brother, what time is it? The end is coming. If you talk about relationships in the apocalypse, wouldn't it be a waste of time? So Yi Feng's ugly words come first. If you agree, I will rescue you. If you don't agree, just wait for death. Anyway, there are many beautiful women in the world, not least like her, although she is indeed very beautiful. At this moment, a reply message suddenly popped up on Yi Feng's cell phone screen. The message is only a short line. Senior Yi Feng, I agree to your terms, but it's really dangerous here. The mutated dogs are particularly scary. Please pay attention to your safety. A flash of surprise flashed in Yi Feng's eyes, and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. Get on the road. In terms of appearance alone, Nan Shien from Zhongcheng University was basically the most beautiful woman Yi Feng had ever seen, with an unparalleled appearance. She is more beautiful and good-looking than some female celebrities. Yi Feng sent a message. Hold on and don't die, I'll be there soon. What a mutated dog, it turned into ashes in a snap. Yi Feng put away his mobile phone and disappeared in a flash. Zhongcheng University, library. There is a reading room on the 3rd floor. 6 boys and 2 girls, a total of 8 students are hiding here, huddled in the corner. Everyone was pale and looked dull. School beauty Nan Shien is also among them. But what is different from others is that there is a trace of expectation in her eyebrows at this moment. Senior, Yi Feng. Stranger, I wonder if Senior Yi Feng can come as promised. Finger snap, it doesn't sound very believable no matter how you listen. Nan Shien sighed helplessly. She actually didn't quite believe what Yi Feng said about being wiped out with a snap of her fingers. After all, the strength of that mutated Chow Chow is too terrifying. But now she is in desperate situation and needs this hope. And she has already told Yi Feng the truth about the situation here. Since Yi Feng is still confident, then his strength should, probably, maybe be pretty good, right? I hope Yi Feng can rescue him before the mutated Chow Chow arrives. Thinking of that terrifying mutant Chow Chow, Nan Shien's body shivered involuntarily. When the Doomsday came, Nan Shien hid in the snack bar inside the library and luckily escaped the first wave of zombies. Relying on the snacks and pastries from the snack bar, Nan Shien and the other survivors spent a few days peacefully. Later, as time passed, the food inside the library gradually ran out. Just when people were panicking, 2 people with superpowers appeared among the survivors. One named Wang Haoxuan, a junior student, has a rare level metallization power. The other one is Li Donghai, a school counselor, whose superpower is epic ice power. Under their leadership, everyone worked together to kill some zombies in the library and collected some survival resources. It's a pity that the situation in the museum is getting better and better. The nightmare suddenly came. A huge Chow Chow mutant suddenly appeared in the library and launched an almost one-sided massacre of the survivors. After the mutation, the Chow Chow is far superior in strength and intelligence than before the mutation. It is 2 meters long and extremely fast. It is more ferocious and terrifying than a tiger. It often falls to the ground and dies before people can see where it is. This type of mutant belongs to the category of mutated beasts, also known as alien beasts. They are rare in number, but powerful, and are not mutant zombies. When the mutated Chow Chow first appeared in the library, he killed more than a dozen survivors with lightning speed. Then it had a battle with the 2 superpowers and directly tore Li Haidong, the ice superpower, into pieces on the spot. Another superpower, Wang Haoxuan, escaped in a hurry and narrowly survived. If a person with superpowers dies, how can ordinary people survive? Just when Nan Shien and others were waiting for death in despair, the mutated Chow quietly retreated. It turns out that this mutated Chow Chow was once a stray dog in the university. After being abandoned by the dog owner, he suffered cruel abuse and hated humans extremely. After the apocalypse, not only did stray dogs not become zombies, they also luckily mutated into speed-enhanced alien beasts. The mutated Chow regards the library as its own territory and the survivors in the library as its prey. It is ready to slowly play tricks on these hateful humans. To relieve the hatred in my heart. After the mutant Chow retreated, everyone cried with joy, thinking they had saved their lives. A few hours later, the mutated Chow bared its teeth and appeared again. Chasing, playing, killing. Someone risked his life and went out, but was immediately torn into pieces by the mutated Chow hiding in the dark. The mutated Chow treats the survivors as prey and spreads fear wantonly. Human survivors are like lambs waiting to be slaughtered. The survivors who were trapped in the library were unwilling to take the lead and asked for help online, hoping that someone with special powers could come to save them. Everyone tacitly hid the strength of the mutated Chow. Since Nan Shien, the #1 school beauty, is trapped here, someone with superpowers really comes to save her. An awakened person with enhanced powers is a fanatical pursuer of the first school beauty Nan Shien. When he learned that the goddess was trapped here, he launched a quick rescue without thinking. He ran towards him with great energy, and was swallowed whole by the mutated Chow guarding the door, and his death was particularly miserable. Since then, no one has been willing to come to the rescue. Even if Nan Shien from the first school is there. After all, there are many women with 2 legs, but they only have 1 life. In the reading room, Nan Shien was hiding in the corner, lowering her head with anxiety and expectation. Yi Feng, you have to hurry up, it will appear at any time. 2 hours ago, the mutated Chow walked around the library, slaughtered a wave of survivors again, and then left with satisfaction. Since then, only their last wave of survivors have remained in the library. In the reading room, a feeling of despair continued to spread, and the survivors gradually became excited. Asshole, why would such a monster be born in this world? In the wave a few hours ago, the monster ate all the other survivors. The next time that monster comes, it will only be us who die. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Some people cried, some were numb. Someone come and save us quickly. Li Donghai, who has epic powers, is dead, who else can come? Even if the monster doesn't come, we won't be able to survive for long. I haven't eaten for a long time. Among them, a boy with bloodshot eyes was particularly excited. Mutated Chow. I am a powerful person with a bright future, yet I have to die here. What a fool. He kicked the trash can next to him and knocked it over to the ground. Nan Shien glanced at the boy and was speechless. The boy is Wang Haoxuan, a junior who has awakened the ability to metalize. The metallization ability can metallize the body or part of the body, greatly improving the power, speed and defense of the person with the ability. It's a pity that Wang Haoxuan's ability is not enough in front of the mutated Chow. Wang Haoxuan sat down on the ground, pursed his lips and stopped talking. In his heart, he was obviously the chosen one, but he had to die at the mouth of a monster like these ordinary people. Really unwilling. As time passed, everyone became more and more restless. At this moment, a fat girl suddenly became excited. You, Wang Haoxuan, are to blame for the current situation. If Li Donghai hadn't died, you 2 superpowers would have had a chance to fight against the mutated Chow. The fat girl became more and more excited as she spoke, completely suppressing the complaints of others. Seeing the fat girl pointing the finger at Wang Haoxuan, the voices of the others suddenly became quieter. Wang Haoxuan, you really shouldn't have just stood by and watched. Why didn't you fight with Li Donghai? You are just cowardly and afraid of death. Quote. The other students were silent, but they kept exchanging glances. In fact, what the girl said makes sense. Li Donghai has awakened epic powers and can control the power of ice, and his combat power is stronger than Wang Haoxuan. When the mutant Chow first appeared, Li Haidong controlled frost and once injured the mutant dog. However, at this time, Wang Haoxuan was too afraid of the strength of the mutated Chow and did not dare to fight. He just paddled beside him. In the end, Li Haidong's energy was exhausted, and he was torn into pieces and swallowed by the mutated Chow, and his abilities improved to a new level. This mutated Chow can increase its strength by devouring people with superpowers. However, Wang Haoxuan relied on his strong defense to successfully escape and survive until now. The fat girl continued to chatter. Wang Haoxuan, if you had rushed forward, withstood the attack of the mutated Cao Cao, and allowed Li Donghai to distance himself from the fighting, maybe the situation would have been different. The reason why we are here waiting to die is because of your cowardice and incompetence. The more she talked, the more excited she became. I didn't notice at all that Wang Haoxuan's face was extremely gloomy at this moment. Alas, Li Ling, please stop saying a few words. Someone next to him noticed something was wrong with Wang Haoxuan's expression and began to persuade him. Li Ling raised her eyebrows and looked unhappy. Why, Wang Haoxuan did something wrong and he didn't let anyone tell him about it. What am I afraid of? Everyone is going to die anyway. At this moment, Wang Haoxuan couldn't bear it anymore and stood up suddenly. Are you talking about Nima? With a ferocious look on his face, Wang Haoxuan reached out and grabbed the fat girl by the neck. How dare you say I'm wrong? Why do you? Is it because of your fat body? The fat girl's face turned red. She kept struggling with her hands and kicked her legs wildly. Ah, Gugu, have mercy on me. Since awakening his superpower, Wang Haoxuan's strength and speed have been significantly improved. Even if his metallization superpower is not activated, his combat effectiveness is still very strong. Are you still teaching me how to do things? You are nothing but a horse rider. Wang Haoxuan became more and more excited and clamped the fat girl's neck hard. The fat girl rolled her eyes and could hardly breathe. Wang Haoxuan suddenly went crazy, and everyone was in chaos. Brother Zan, don't be like this, we are all classmates. Ling Er was just in a hurry and spoke unabashedly. I have no intention of blaming you. Haoxuan, if you do this again, Li Ling will really die. Wang Haoxuan smiled coldly, let go and threw the fat girl to the ground. Li Ling fell heavily to the ground. Hu ho, her face turned pale, with a look of fear on her face, and she gasped for air, daring not to say another word. Wang Haoxuan looked crazy and roared loudly. Everyone can see how strong that mutated dog is. Who has the ability to kill him? All the epic superpowers are dead. In that situation, what would happen even if I were added? It would just be one more death. Wang Haoxuan's voice echoed in the reading room. Everyone was submissive, and no one dared to touch his bad luck. Wang Haoxuan continued to scan the audience with a mocking expression on his face. Besides, in every battle I don't take the lead. You cowardly wretches are just waving flags and shouting from the side, which is of no use at all. You, and you, why don't you fight? Wang Haoxuan stretched out his finger and pointed excitedly at the people in the front row. Everyone lowered their heads in unison, and no one spoke. They are all a bunch of rubbish. Deathly silence. Seeing that everyone was silent, Wang Haoxuan became more and more excited as he talked. I saw him suddenly looking at the fat girl fiercely. For someone like her, I gave her food before, it was really blind, poof. Wang Haoxuan looked ferocious and furious. He was so excited that he directly activated his superpower, metallization. Crunch. In the blink of an eye, his right leg was wrapped in a layer of gray-black metal iron. Tell me, she actually has the nerve to blame me for not going up to fight, is she worthy? Make a few. Wang Haoxuan took a step forward and raised his right leg. When the fat girl saw this, she suddenly looked horrified. No, don't. Shien, Li Ping, stop him quickly, save me. The fat girl never expected that Wang Haoxuan seemed to really want to kill her. Haoxuan, don't be impulsive. We are all classmates. Wang Haoxuan laughed evilly, raised his foot and stepped on it hard. Poof! Li Ling's head exploded like a watermelon. Brains overflowed and blood splattered. Wang Haoxuan, did you kill her? Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief, not daring to speak out. After killing the fat girl, Wang Haoxuan looked around the audience again. I'll send her on her way early. Do you have any objections? Everyone looked panicked and said quickly. No objection. She deserves to die. Li Ling died well. Brother Zan worked hard and achieved great results. How can someone like her be blamed? Quote. Everyone spoke one after another to please Wang Haoxuan, fearing that he would trample them to death if he got excited. Even if they wait for the terrifying monster to come over, they will die. But after all, it is good to die a little later. Survival is the instinct of every living thing. Seeing that no one dared to disobey him, Wang Haoxuan felt very high-spirited for a moment. At the last moment of his life, he was the king and the ruler here. We are the last survivors in the library. When that mutated Chow comes again, it will be our death. We can only wait to die, wait to die. Wang Haoxuan murmured to himself, but his eyes gradually fell on Nan Shien. His eyes flickered. Nan Shien is recognized as the #1 school beauty of Jiangsu University. She is fair-skinned and beautiful, with long legs and a slim waist. The most important thing is that she has a cool temperament, a fairy-like air, as if she is sacred and inviolable, which makes her have a different kind of attraction. Seeing Wang Haoxuan notice her, Nan Shien couldn't help but feel a sinking feeling in her heart and complained secretly. It's over. Wang Haoxuan's mood was very wrong. Nan Shien forced out a smile and said against her will. Wang Haoxuan, you did it all right. Wang Haoxuan didn't answer. His eyes became more and more crazy. Everyone, I have a proposal, a great proposal. Wang Haoxuan's lips curved into a lewd smile. As soon as these words came out, some bad boys quickly echoed. Brother Zan, do you have any brilliant suggestions? Yeah, tell me and listen. Wang Haoxuan stared at Nan Xian's graceful body, licked his lips and said slowly. Everyone is going to die anyway, so wouldn't it be nice to be happy before death and enjoy some pleasures? I wonder, what do you think, classmate Nan Shien from the first school? As soon as Wang Haoxuan said these words, the eyes of everyone present suddenly became weird. Originally they were 8 survivors, 6 men and 2 women. After the death of a girl, Li Ling, there were 6 boys and 1 girl. The remaining girl is none other than Zhongcheng University's #1 campus beauty, Nan Shien. The atmosphere in the room suddenly changed. Wang Haoxuan smiled strangely and walked towards Nan Shien step by step. Classmate Nan Shien, before the end, you severely rejected my confession 3 times. I wonder if this time, will you reject me cruelly again? Seeing Wang Haoxuan approaching, Nan Xien's heart couldn't help but sink. No, I have to delay. Nan Shien bit her lower lip lightly and said quickly. Wang Haoxuan, calm down. We will be saved soon. Wang Haoxuan was stunned when he heard this. What do you mean? Nan Shien stood up and faced everyone. Wang Haoxuan, as well as many classmates, actually we are not in despair yet. I just contacted a senior who graduated. His name is Yi Feng. He is also a person with supernatural powers, and he is willing to save us. His powers are very strong, even more powerful than Li Donghai's. He is on the way and will be there soon. When everyone heard this, their eyes suddenly lit up. Ah, really? Great, we have rescue. Hearing this, Wang Haoxuan was stunned for a moment, then sneered. Haha, how can there be such a coincidence in the world? Why don't you come sooner or later? Just after I made my proposal, someone came to the rescue. I didn't expect that Nan Shien from the first school also likes to lie. Wang Haoxuan didn't believe it at all. I didn't lie, really. Nan Shien explained eagerly. Wang Haoxuan waved his hand and said with disdain. The fact that we were trapped in the library has been posted on the internet for a long time. The terrifying power of the mutated Chow Chow is obvious to all. A superpower like Li Donghai is no match for him. How could there be a fool who wants to die? Even if this so-called Yi Feng is your Nan Xien's loyal dog, he will still have a basic IQ, right? Wang Haoxuan stared at Nan Shien with a trace of mockery in his eyes. It seems to be saying that the beautiful school beauty is quite good at lying. As soon as Wang Haoxuan finished speaking, everyone reacted. Yes, how can someone come here to die with their brains wet at this time? Without more than a dozen superpowers or powerful heavy weapons, this mutated Chow Chow cannot be dealt with. Taking a step back, even if a fool does come, it will only be one more death. Just like the last survivor, he can't even get through the door. We are still going to die. The eyes of many boys kept wandering over Nan Xien's delicate body. Iceberg beauty, fair-skinned and beautiful. Super top quality. Nan Xien's heart instantly sank into the bottomless abyss. Her pretty face turned slightly pale as she tried to convince everyone. I really didn't lie. I have cell phone communication records to prove it. Nan Shien quickly took out her mobile phone and showed it to everyone. His name is Yifeng, and he is extremely powerful. Everyone, calm down and wait and see, okay? Isn't it good to be alive? Everything I said is true. Quote. However, at this time, Wang Haoxuan was too lazy to listen anymore. He waved his hand and said in a cold tone, real or false, it doesn't matter at all. If it's true, it's just one more licking dog who wants to die. He probably won't even be able to get into this library and will be torn apart by the monster. If it's fake, it would be a pity that you, the school beauty, died like this without any help. Let my brother help you. As Wang Haoxuan spoke, he approached Nan Shien and took a deep breath with an intoxicated expression on his face. It smells good. It smells so good. Although I haven't taken a shower for many days, the goddess is worthy of being a goddess and is still so charming. Wang Haoxuan reached out and grabbed Nan Xien's snow-white arm. Nan Shien struggled desperately and kept shouting, Wang Haoxuan, you are crazy, let me go quickly. Everyone. You have all seen the communication records, please advise Wang Haoxuan. Wang Haoxuan's strength was so great that she couldn't break free for a while. Despair surged in Nan Xien's heart. Yifeng, are you still in time? Thinking like this, Nan Shien shouted again, other students, Wang Haoxuan is crazy, stop him quickly. Nan Xien's performance made other male students a little moved. A boy said cautiously, Brother Zan, how about we wait? Wang Haoxuan glanced back at him, his eyes cold. Shut up. The boy was startled and immediately fell silent. Wang Haoxuan turned around, looked at Nan Xien's cold face, and couldn't help laughing excitedly. It's worth it for me, Wang Haoxuan, to be able to eat such delicious food before I die. Everyone listen to me, boys here, everyone has a share. When I, Wang Haoxuan, finish eating, you can take over. Our main focus is not to waste anything. Hearing this, the boys present cheered. Good, haha, that's how it should be. Do it. One by one, they were gearing up and eager to try. Brother Zan is mighty. If I could kiss Shang's now, my life would not be in vain. Quote. Wang Haoxuan looked proud and was about to continue taking action. At this moment, a loud noise suddenly came from the door. Boom! Wang Haoxuan was stunned and subconsciously let go of his hand. The faces of everyone present also turned pale instantly, and their bodies began to tremble involuntarily, as if struck by lightning. Ruined. The mutant Chao is here. I don't want to die. It's over now. I'm not happy anymore. Some people were paralyzed on the ground, some were pale-faced, and some were so frightened that they lost control of their urine. Wang Haoxuan also had a look of fear on his face, and his body kept shaking. I don't want to die. Nan Shien took this opportunity to break free from his hands. Wow. Along with the sound of footsteps, a figure slowly approached. Some people expressed doubts. It seems. Not a mutant Chao. The figure approaches. The person he saw was dressed in black, with sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, tall and straight. This person was Yifeng. Looking around, Yifeng showed a smile. It came on time. And everyone present saw that the people who came in were humans, not alien beasts. All of a sudden they let out a long sigh of relief. Phew, I was scared to death. Maid, are there other survivors here? Boy, you are really looking for death. Wang Haoxuan also breathed a sigh of relief and his expression softened. Only Nan Xien's eyes lit up and she quickly came to Yifeng. Are you Yifeng? Yifeng nodded and said, it's me. As soon as this statement came out, the whole place was in an uproar. He is not the survivor in the library, he is the dog-licking superpower that Nan Shien mentioned. Is it true? How did he get in? The mutated Chao must have let him in on purpose. Wang Haoxuan looked at Yifeng with the same surprise. Yifeng ignored these clowns and just stared at Nan Shien intently. I saw that Nan Shien had beautiful eyes like a galaxy, and her lips were a little chapped but still rosy. He has an oval face, a tall nose, and a bunch of long black hair, which is simply tied up by an ordinary rubber band. His snow-white neck is as white as a swan's, making him look particularly cold. Her clothes are relatively simple, with a white-gray short-sleeved upper body and tight black jeans on the lower body. She is tall, about 175 centimeters tall, with long white and straight legs, and her buttocks, wrapped in black jeans, look round and plump. If there is any drawback, it is that the breasts are a bit small, only about a B cup. Even so, Yi Feng still murmured to himself. As expected of the number one school beauty, her looks and long legs, are even more outstanding than I remembered. It's not in vain. The corner of Yi Feng's mouth curled up. But the next moment, he noticed tears flashing in Nan Shien's beautiful eyes, and he frowned. He stretched out his hand to wipe away the tears from Nan Shien's eyes. Nan Shien was a little shy, but did not dodge. Yi Feng's eyes were filled with anger and his tone was cold. You were bullied. Who? Or, everyone here. Yi Feng looked around the audience. In the reading room, there is a headless female corpse and 6 boys with different looks. They were talking quietly. A man with superpowers came here to die. Poor, he may not know that the library is already the territory of mutant dogs. They are only allowed in and not allowed out. Everyone looked at Yi Feng as if they were a fool. In their view, people with superpowers have no worries about eating and drinking outside. Now you are willing to die for a woman, what else is it but a fool? Even the epic superpower Li Donghai couldn't defeat that monster. How could this Yi Feng be stronger than Li Donghai? Only Wang Haoxuan's eyes kept flashing, wondering what he was thinking. Yi Feng looked at these people and couldn't help but frown slightly. He turned around and asked Nan Shien, "Shien, do these people deserve to die?" Nan Shien nodded subconsciously, but she soon realized that Yi Feng's implicit intention was to avenge herself. Nan Shien hurriedly added, "Forget it, Yi Feng. I'm not hurt either, as long as you can take me away. I told you that the mutant Chow Chow is extremely powerful." Nan Shien whispered in a low voice and briefly told Yi Feng what happened in the past few days. Finally, she got closer to Yi Feng and whispered, "Yi Feng, that mutated Chow Chow is really strong. 2 people with powers have already died in its mouth. You must be careful." Yi Feng nodded and looked around the audience, with a trace of killing intent flashing in his eyes. At this moment, Wang Haoxuan squeezed out a smile and said, "Let me introduce myself, I am Wang Haoxuan, the superpower." "Are you Yi Feng? I know, brother, you are here for Nan Shien." "What a sweetheart." Wang Haoxuan gave a thumbs up with a look of admiration. Yi Feng looked indifferent and ignored him. A trace of displeasure flashed in Wang Haoxuan's eyes, and he cursed secretly in his heart. "You're ignoring me. You're so awesome at showing off." However, he still suppressed the anger in his heart and looked enthusiastic. As the saying goes, women are clothes. "Brother Yi Feng, if you like Nan Shien, I will give it to you and won't compete with you. Now that we are facing a foreign enemy, you and I are both superpowers. If you and I join forces to fight against the enemy, we will definitely have hope of repelling the mutated Chow Chow and escaping from this library. I wonder what you think." Wang Haoxuan said with a sincere face. He has his own thoughts. In Wang Haoxuan's eyes, if he could save his own life, it would be much more cost-effective than temporary entertainment. As for women, once they get out of this dangerous situation, shouldn't they have as many as they want? Not to mention, if there is a chance to kill Yi Feng in the battle, Nan Shien will still be his plaything. Wang Haoxuan kept making plans in his mind, and at the same time looked at Yi Feng expectantly. Yi Feng looked calm and said slowly, "Join forces, you still call me brother and sister, and you still compete with me for women. Are you worthy?" When Wang Haoxuan heard this, his expression suddenly changed, and he almost suspected that he had heard wrongly. What did you say?" He really never thought that someone would be so ignorant that he would trample on his good intentions. Yi Feng continued to sneer. "I said, who do you think you are, and you still want to join forces with me? If there's no mirror, there's always urine, right? You don't want to take a look at yourself to see if you are worthy." These few words made Wang Haoxuan tremble with anger. He couldn't understand why there were such arrogant people in the world. Wang Haoxuan was speechless and could not speak for a while. Yi Feng looked around and glanced at everyone present. "I leave my words here today. Whether it's Wang Haoxuan, you bunch of fools, or mutant dogs, there is only one end, and that is death." Hearing this, Wang Haoxuan was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He pointed at Yi Feng and roared, "You guy, I really didn't expect that there are idiots like you in the world. You simply don't know the heights of the world. You don't understand how terrifying that mutated Chow is." Wang Haoxuan shook his head in disappointment. Arrogance, stupidity, arrogance. You simply don't understand that only with multiple superpowers joining forces can it be possible to defeat that monster. Ask Nan Shien, she knows how terrifying that mutated Cao Cao is. When Nan Shien heard Wang Haoxuan's words, she hesitated slightly, then pulled Yi Feng's clothes and said, Yi Feng, although he is a scumbag, one thing is right. The mutant Cao Cao is super powerful. If you two join forces, that will be the best solution. Hearing what Nan Shien said, Wang Haoxuan felt happy and burst into laughter. Haha, she deserves to be the #1 school beauty. She really knows the basics. Yi Feng, if you apologize to me now, I will forgive your previous rude behavior. As Nan Shien said, we can only survive if we work together and break out of this library together. Other survivors present also spoke out to persuade him. Yi Feng, don't be so irrational. Be obedient. At present, there are foreign enemies. Only by joining forces can we have a way out. Although we are wrong, isn't Nan Shien right? Quote. Yi Feng had no expression on his face and spoke slowly. These are your last words. Hearing this, the whole place was in an uproar. Isn't it a bad idea? It's now, and you still want to deal with us. You're a stupid young man who doesn't have enough food and salt. Yi Feng naturally wouldn't argue with a group of dead people. He walked forward slowly and looked directly at Wang Haoxuan. Wang Haoxuan, right, use your powers, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Wang Haoxuan laughed completely angrily, shaking his head and sighing. Yi Feng, you are so ignorant and extremely stupid. That's it, let me knock you down, help you recognize the reality, and turn your whole body into metal. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Haoxuan's body suddenly changed. Buzz. A gray-white metallic light emanated from the inside of his body, enveloping his entire body. Click. In an instant, Wang Haoxuan turned into a metal giant more than 2 meters tall. The whole body is made of gray-black hard metal. Transformation is over. A confident smile appeared on Wang Haoxuan's face. This is his strongest form, with his whole body made of metal. Can harden its own muscles, bones and even internal organs into metal. The other boys around him were also overjoyed. Brother Zan, you are so awesome. Brother Zan is mighty, Brother Zan is domineering. Want to kill us? Brother Zan, help me kill him. Nan Shien's beautiful eyes were filled with worry. Yi Feng, you must be careful. Wang Haoxuan laughed arrogantly, haha, with my metal fist, except for that mutant Chao, I can hit anyone in one go. As he spoke, Wang Haoxuan waved his fist and rushed towards Yi Feng quickly. The huge fist is approaching. Yi Feng's expression remained unchanged, but he raised a finger slightly. Buzz. In an instant, a ball of violent gray thunder energy gathered at his fingertips. Sizzle. The arc keeps surging. A faint aura of coercion spread throughout the entire venue. What's this? Wang Haoxuan's pupils shrank, and he suddenly felt that something was wrong. Yi Feng, this guy, seems to really have 2 skills. However, the arrow is on the string and must be fired. At this moment, he could only use all his strength to hit Yi Feng with his fierce metal fist. It's so fancy, go to hell. The fist is fierce and powerful. Yi Feng moved his wrist lightly. The thunder turned into a stream of light in the air and headed straight for Wang Haoxuan. Wang Haoxuan had no time to escape. Boom! Yi Feng's electric arc and his metal fist connected in the air, making a bursting sound. Thunder surges. The majestic and terrifying energy spread throughout Wang Haoxuan's body instantly. Sizzling la. His body instantly stiffened and he could not move. No. Wang Haoxuan's eyes were filled with horror. The next moment, his metal body suddenly exploded and turned into debris, scattering all over the ground. Wang Haoxuan, die. The eyes of all the boys present were about to pop out, and they all took a breath, unable to believe this scene. Brother Zan is gone. What kind of skill is this, erasure? Thunder power. Isn't this too powerful? Quote. Nan Shien's beautiful eyes also widened, her mouth opened wide, with a shocked expression on her face. She thought that Yi Feng would be very strong. But I didn't expect that Yi Feng would be so strong. Such a powerful Wang Haoxuan was instantly killed by Yi Feng with one blow, leaving him no room to fight back. Incredible. Could it be that Yi Feng said before that he could instantly kill mutant beasts with a snap of his fingers? Not a boast, but a fact. Nan Xien's eyes changed completely when she looked at Yi Feng. Chic, handsome, powerful, mysterious. After Yi Feng killed Wang Haoshuan, he turned his attention to other people present. You people all deserve to die. Everyone present could not help but tremble when they saw Yi Feng's murderous eyes. These people were trembling all over and begging for mercy. No, 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 I didn't. We were wrong. It was Wang Haoshuan who deceived us. Spare your life, spare your life. Faced with everyone begging for mercy, Yi Feng had no intention of showing mercy. But to deal with these people, there is no need to use supernatural powers. A thought came to my mind. Yi Feng took out a pistol from the space and pulled the trigger unceremoniously. Bang 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 bang. Continuous gunfire echoed in the quiet library. Bullets shot out one after another, like the scythe of death, completely depriving these people of their lives. No, do not want. Spare your life, spare your life. The screams came one after another. In an instant, corpses were lying on the ground in the reading room, and blood was constantly flowing out. All the boys in the reading room were spared, and they all fell to the ground and died. The smell of blood spread out. Nan Xien's face turned pale when she saw this cruel scene. But she thought about the hateful faces of these people before, and felt that these people deserved to die. Yi Feng, thank you. Nan Shien looked at Yi Feng with brilliant eyes. She knew that Yi Feng killed people for himself. Yi Feng lowered his head and looked at Nan Shien. Her skin is white, smooth and delicate, and her figure is tall, especially her long, white and slender legs, which are particularly eye-catching. Her eyes were big and bright, as if the light of stars were shining. With a high nose and a small cherry mouth, one can't help but kiss her. Very beautiful. It is truly a masterpiece of the creator. Yi Feng reached out and held Nan Xien's soft, boneless hand, and said to her in a gentle tone. Shien, let's get out of here. Nan Shien nodded, with an excited expression on her face. But the next moment, she thought of something again. Yi Feng, if we go out like this, we will definitely be attacked by the mutated Chow. Although Yi Feng killed Wang Haoshuan as easily as he killed a chicken, the mutated Chow could also do it. Nan Shien was still a little worried. Hearing this, Yi Feng chuckled. Shien, please don't worry, I can settle everything. Seeing that Yi Feng was so confident, Nan Shien stopped saying anything. The two walked out of the reading room. Not long after, we arrived on the first floor. The mutated Chow did not appear. Nan Shien nervously held Yi Feng's hand, her little heart was beating wildly, and her chest was rising and falling. Could it be that the mutated Chow is asleep? She began to think wildly. Just as the two were about to step out of the library door. Not far away, a low roar suddenly came. Ho ho ho. The sound is earth-shaking, as if it can directly hit people's souls. Nan Xien's body trembled and she looked panicked. Yi Feng, that mutated Chow is here. Brother Yi Feng, I'm so scared. Nan Xien's little face turned pale and she was a little at a loss. Don't worry, I've got everything covered. Yi Feng held her jade hand and was careful. An afterimage flashed past. In front of the two of them, a mutant beast appeared. Yi Feng looked up. I saw this mutated Chow, 3 meters long, tall and mighty, with sharp teeth and sharp claws. The yellow hair is thick and rough, each hair is like a steel needle, and the eyes are pure black and ferocious, making people afraid to look directly. His whole body exuded a powerful aura. The mutated Chow didn't take action immediately. There was a hint of humanity in his dark eyes as he stared at Yi Feng and Nan Shien. Shien, please go to the side and watch the battle first. Yi Feng asked Nan Shien to hide behind him, and then walked towards the mutated Chow. Beast, I heard you are very strong. Yi Feng stared at the monster in front of him. The mutated Chow seemed to be able to understand human speech, with a hint of displeasure flashing in his eyes. The momentum of the huge body shook. The whole body was like an arrow from the string, streaking through the air and rushing toward Yi Feng. Ha, such a fast speed. Yi Feng was stunned for a moment, not daring to be careless. A gray electric arc lingered on his fingertips. Sizzle. Facing Yi Feng's thunder, the mutated Chow suddenly felt a sense of alarm in his heart. It can't be hardwired, it will die. Gray arc, lacing away. The mutant Chow predicted in advance that his huge body twisted strangely in the air, narrowly avoiding Yi Feng's arc. The arc of electricity passed by the mutant Chow and hit the bookshelf behind it. Boom! I saw the huge bookshelf instantly exploded and shattered under Yifeng's arc. When the mutant Chow saw this, he suddenly broke into a cold sweat. At the same time, the look he looked at Yifeng was even more unkind. Yifeng was also a little surprised. This is the first time an enemy has escaped from his Chaos God Thunder. The mutated Chow let out a roar, and its figure flashed one after another. In just one breath, he came to Yifeng's side. Its eyes were full of ferocity, and it raised its huge claws and slapped Yifeng's head hard. Yifeng could even smell the fishy smell and blood smell on its body. Nan Shien on the side couldn't help but exclaimed, "Yifeng, be careful." Yifeng's figure moved slightly. The mutated Chow Chow's sharp claws passed by Yifeng and hit the ground heavily. Snapped. The floor tiles cracked and rubble flew everywhere. Yifeng raised his hand, and the flame knife appeared in his hand. Then, he raised his knife and slashed horizontally at an extremely fast speed. The mutated Chow also raised its claws at the same time. The mutated Chow Chow's sharp claws connected with Yifeng's flame knife. Poof! The mutated dog's sharp claw was cut open by Yifeng, and it was dripping with blood. At the same time, a wisp of flame burst out from Yifeng's knife edge and began to burn the mutant Chow's claws. Ouch! The heart-wrenching pain caused it to scream miserably, and its huge body quickly pulled away, rolling on the ground to extinguish the flames. Hoo! The mutated Chow Chow gasped for air, and his eyes were full of cruelty. It hurts so much. This is the first time since he mutated that he has been so seriously injured. It's angry. A low growl erupted again. Ho ho ho. At the same time, the mutant Chow's head suddenly expanded several times. Yifeng's heart moved. What kind of move is this, the head enlargement technique? Just when Yifeng was secretly on guard. The mutated Chow Chow's neck has become weirdly longer. Like a stretched rubber band, it rushed towards Yifeng at great speed. You know, the speed of this mutated Chow Chow is already extremely fast. And the speed of this attack was more than 10 times faster than itself. By the time Yifeng reacts, there is no way to avoid it. The attack was successful. A trace of pride flashed in the mutant Chow Chow's eyes. It opened its bloody mouth, exposed its sharp fangs, and bit Yifeng fiercely, as if it wanted to engulf Yifeng completely. Nan Shien, who was watching the battle on the sidelines, was suddenly horrified, and her beautiful eyes were filled with worry. The mutated Chow bit Yifeng's waist viciously, his eyes filled with excitement. Haha, humans, go to hell. In its imagination, Yifeng would definitely be bitten in half by it, with hot blood spurting out. It even thought about its eating posture. First this, then that. Use hard force, bite down. Bang, why does it taste wrong? A trace of confusion flashed in the mutant Chow Chow's eyes. It feels like it's biting on solid metal. Broken teeth. The next moment, a heartbreaking pain came from between the teeth, a crack appeared at the root of its sharp fangs, and blood flowed faintly. The mutant Chow was completely confused. How so? Its teeth are stronger than any metal and can be said to be indestructible. Ever since it mutated, there is nothing it can't crush. The mutated Chow looked up subconsciously. I saw that the human body in front of me was emitting a faint golden light, which was extremely dazzling. What is this stuff? The mutated Chow Chow was angry and anxious. He retracted his huge head instantly, and then looked at Yifeng in surprise. Nan Shien, who was watching the battle on the side, breathed a sigh of relief, his beautiful eyes full of excitement. It's great that Yifeng was not injured. Brother Feng, come on. Yifeng frowned. Why do you feel like you have heard of this ability? Yifeng looked directly at the mutated Chow Chow in front of him, looking through the memories in his mind. Suddenly a flash of realization flashed in his eyes. I remembered. A smile appeared on Yifeng's lips. It turns out that you are the giant beast with a telescopic head. Previous life. It is this mutated Chow in front of us that has brought a lot of trouble to humans. When Yifeng heard about it, the level of the mutant Chow was already very high. The body is even more like a hill, a completely behemoth. The claws are sharp, the speed is extremely exaggerated, and there is also a strange ability to stretch the body, making it extremely powerful in combat. It is entrenched in Zhongcheng and is evil. Later, many strong human beings took action together to surround and kill him. I didn't expect that in this life, I would meet it now. This is a mutant beast with high growth potential. Yi Feng suddenly remembered. His little sparrow was killed by the Zhou brothers. The number of mutant beasts is rare, but as long as they grow up smoothly, most of them are very powerful. Do you want to take this stupid dog as a mount? Thinking of this, Yi Feng said lightly. Stupid dog, I know you can understand what I'm saying. Give you a chance to be my pet. Otherwise, die. The mutated Chow Chow looked at Yi Feng with some surprise. It can clearly sense the huge threat Yi Feng brings to it. Especially the terrifying thunder, which was enough to destroy his defense and kill him. But, surrender to humans. That is impossible. The mutated Chow Chow's eyes flashed fiercely. My hatred for mankind is irreconcilable. Besides, my speed is obviously faster than yours. If I really can't beat you, I can't run away. Ho ho ho. The mutated Chow let out a roar of rejection. Seeing that the mutant Chow refused to surrender, Yi Feng thought for a while and spoke again. Submit to me and you will survive. Only one chance. Yi Feng felt that the dog in front of him was a good fighter and wanted to give it another chance. A hint of unruliness flashed in the mutant Chow Chow's eyes. It uses decisions and actions to express its attitude. Teach the man in front of you a lesson. The mutated Chow Chow's sharp claws expanded instantly, and the dog's legs popped out as fast as a rubber band. Not good. Because Yi Feng was fully focused, he immediately noticed something was wrong. Because this time the target of the mutated Chow Chow's attack was not Yi Feng, but Nan Shien, who was watching the battle from the sidelines. In an instant, huge sharp claws hit her head, and Nan Shien didn't even react, she just stood there in a daze. Boom! There was a crackling sound in the air. All I saw was a flash of golden light. Yi Feng stood in front of Nan Shien at the fastest speed and withstood the attack of the mutant Chow head-on. The mutated Chow's body trembled wildly, and its claws were extremely painful. It was dumbfounded. Why is it so outrageous? The human body in front of him was completely unscathed and as solid as a rock. No defense. There was a look of disbelief in the dog's eyes. If it could talk, the mutant Chow would definitely roar. Bloodlock. Nan Shien on the side finally realized that Yi Feng saved his life again under the claws of the mutant Chow. Despite her fear, deep gratitude to Yi Feng once again emerged from the bottom of her heart. Yi Feng, thank you for saving me again. Yi Feng turned his back to her and waved his hand. There was some fear in my heart. Fortunately, he had been focusing on Nan Shien, so he saved her in an extremely thrilling way. You know, this mutant beast is too fast. Once Yi Feng slows down for half a beat, Nan Shien will be beaten into meat paste by one of his claws, and her fragrance will disappear. Thinking of this, Yi Feng looked at the mutated Chow with murderous intent in his eyes. Failed to conquer. Yi Feng took the flame sword back into space. A thought. Sizzle. Waves of thunderous power surged around him. The arc lingered and crackled. The mutated Chow Chow was shocked and felt that something was wrong, so he immediately turned around and ran away. Where are you running? Yi Feng took a step forward and pushed forward with both hands. Boom 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 boom. I saw 4 huge gray arcs, one in front and one behind, one on the left and one on the right. It burst out from Yi Feng's hand. 4 arc attacks blasted towards the mutated Chow from 4 directions at an unimaginable speed. The electric light flashes and crackles. Facing Yi Feng's multiple thunder attacks, the mutated Chow Chow was horrified. There was a hint of fear in its human eyes. There was a roar in his heart. I can definitely escape it. Stimulate your potential, predict the direction in advance, and increase your speed to the extreme. The huge body of the mutated Chow suddenly shrunk, and it dodged Yi Feng's first arc. However, the remaining 3 arcs were in the shape of a pin, and followed. The mutated Chow's body rolled suddenly, dodging the second and third arcs in succession. However, facing Yi Feng's 4th Divine Thunder, it could no longer escape. Yi Feng's eyes were cold. 4 Divine Thunders form a blanket of firepower. Where do you hide? A trace of helplessness flashed in the mutated Chow Chow's eyes, and he could only choose to bear it. The hair on its entire body, which was like steel needles, suddenly bent and intertwined, forming a defense in an instant. You can definitely handle it. The mutated Chow roared in his heart. Boom! Gray arcs of electricity cut through the sky and struck hard on the mutated Chow Chow's body. The Chaos Divine Thunder successfully hit the mutated Chow Chow. Arc surges, running like a dragon. Thunder surges, instantly filling the mutant Chow's entire body. The mutated Chow was so powerful that it stared wide-eyed and let out an unwilling roar. Sizzle. At this moment, thunder showed terrifying destructive power. The lightning flashes and crackles. The mutant Chow's steel needle hair defense was instantly wiped out. The whole body suddenly stood frozen in place, charred and black. The lightning slowly dissipated. A trace of despair flashed in the mutant Chow's eyes. He raised his head and looked at Yifeng with a pleading look. The meaning of surrender is obvious. Sorry, it's too late, Yifeng said lightly. Next moment, the light in the mutated Chow's eyes dimmed, his breath disappeared, and his body slowly fell backwards. With a roar, its huge body hit the ground. Debris flew everywhere and the floor tiles cracked. At the same time, an alluring aroma of meat wafted out. Under Yifeng's divine thunder attack, the mutated Chow was already charred on the outside and tender on the inside. Yifeng secretly praised it. As expected of me, I have become more and more proficient in controlling the power of the Chaos God's thunder. The barbecue heat is just right. Brother Yifeng, you are so powerful. Are you the strongest superpower in the world? Nan Shien, who was watching the battle from the side, covered her mouth with surprises in her eyes. Yifeng's power was completely beyond her expectation. The mutated Chow, who was considered invincible and as deadly as the Grim Reaper, fell to Yifeng's feet so easily. You know, 2 people with superpowers have died under the claws of this mutant beast before. What's even more exaggerated is that Yifeng's battle with this monster was extremely clean and neat, and could be called a one-sided instant kill. Nan Shien ran all the way and came to Yifeng. Yifeng, you are so harmful. Nan Shien's eyes were filled with little stars. Yifeng suppressed the pride in his heart. He waved his hand and looked indifferent. This beast is a little stronger than I thought, it took a little more effort. Yifeng said and looked at the already ripe mutated Chow. A thought came to my mind. Put the mutated dog's body into the storage space. Zombified animals, as well as mutants among zombies, must not be eaten. However, mutated creatures like the mutated Chow do not belong to the zombie family. Not only are they edible, their meat texture and taste are also great. The most important thing is that the energy contained in the mutated meat is also helpful for superpowers to improve their strength. Certain parts of mutated beasts have miraculous effects on increasing strength, making them priceless treasures. Yifeng did not examine the head of the mutated Chow. Because there is no crystal nucleus in the head of the mutated beast. The nature of mutant beasts is the same as that of human superpowers. Only when the level reaches the 4th level can the energy core be condensed in the body. Yifeng's act of taking things out of thin air fell into Nan Shien's eyes and shocked her again. She couldn't help but ask, Yifeng, what is your ability? Why did this huge monster disappear all of a sudden? Is it an illusion? Yifeng smiled softly and didn't explain much. This is my superpower. I will explain it to you slowly in the future. Men, you still have to maintain a sense of mystery. Yifeng took Nan Shien's weak and boneless hand and led her out of the library. Nan Shien followed Yifeng obediently. She looked at Yifeng's handsome profile and tall body. She felt filled with an incomparable sense of security. Is this the man I'm about to commit to? How many secrets do you have? Yifeng and Nan Shien were walking on campus. From time to time, zombies attacked Nan Shien. Yifeng cooked it without ceremony. During this period, Nan Shien discovered a secret again. The zombies only attacked themselves, but turned a blind eye to Yifeng. Simply incredible. Since they had Nan Shien as a dragster, the 2 of them didn't move very fast. While walking, Nan Shien's movement speed became slower and slower, and her gasping sounds became louder and louder. Only then did Yifeng react and looked at her with an apologetic look. Sorry, I forgot that your physical strength is very poor. Nan Shien's face looked a little pale, and she quickly shook her head to express that she was fine. Yifeng gently arranged her hair. Are you hungry? Would you like to find a place to rest? Nan Shien nodded sheepishly. I haven't eaten enough for a long time. I haven't had a good night's sleep in the past few days. Yifeng expressed his understanding. Soon, he took Nan Shien to a faculty dormitory. The faculty and staff dormitories of Zhongnan University are all single rooms. Some are luxurious, with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. Downstairs in the dormitory, Yi Feng took out his knife and hacked to death the dozens of zombies entrenched here. Then he reached out and gently hugged Nan Shien's waist. Nan Shien's pretty face turned red, but she didn't struggle. Yi Feng whispered to her, "Hold me." Nan Shien put her hands around Yi Feng's waist. It was the first time in her life that she was so close to a man, which made her heart tremble. "It feels like you are in a warm harbor." When Yi Feng saw her hugging him, he immediately bent his legs and launched himself into the sky. In her subconscious exclamation, Yi Feng jumped directly to the 5th floor and broke in through the window. Entering the room, Yi Feng let go of Nan Shien. "Yi Feng, you are simply a Superman." Nan Shien was nervous and excited. Yi Feng looked around the audience and looked at the environment of the dormitory. There seemed to be no zombies. The room was 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, clean and tidy, and had all kinds of daily necessities. "It's not bad here. Let's rest here for now." Yi Feng carefully searched the entire house to confirm that there were no zombies, and then closed the doors and windows with his backhand. Nan Shien completely obeyed Yi Feng's arrangements. When she came to a safe environment, she couldn't help but feel relaxed. "Lulu." Her stomach suddenly growled. "You are hungry." Yi Feng had a hint of smile. Nan Shien nodded sheepishly. "Whatever you want to eat, just order it." Yi Feng waved his hand. With the ingredients in his own space, he should be able to meet most of Nan Shien's requirements. "Ah, is anything possible?" Nan Shien's eyes lit up. "Of course." Yi Feng nodded. Then I want to eat. Hot pot." Nan Shien blurted out. "Yi Feng, I just had hot pot for lunch." Seeing that Yi Feng didn't speak, Nan Shien suddenly felt that she had gone too far. She laughed sheepishly. "When did this happen? 99% of people in the world are hungry, but you still want to eat hot pot. Unacceptable." "I'm kidding, any other food will do," she added quickly. Yi Feng smiled calmly. "Good. Hot pot is just hot pot, no problem." Although Yi Feng just finished a hot pot meal, but it wouldn't hurt to have another meal. A thought came to my mind. A long brown hot pot table suddenly appeared in the room. On the table, there is also a special copper pot for hot pot. Previously, Yi Feng vacated a large hot pot restaurant, so all kinds of hot pot supplies were naturally available. Nan Shien looked at this scene blankly. "Yi Feng, are you Doraemon? Come whatever you want." Chapter 51. Under Nan Shien's gaze, Yi Feng is like a magician, constantly taking out hot pot ingredients from the space. Beef slices, mutton slices, chrysanthemum, shiitake mushrooms, baby cabbage, konjac. "Yi Feng, you are so amazing." Nan Shien's beautiful eyes shone and she couldn't help but swallow her saliva. Yi Feng smiled and continued to get food. Eggs, fish tofu, duck intestines, meatballs, morels, kelp knots. Various ingredients are spread all over the table, a dazzling array. Nan Shien opened her mouth slightly and her beautiful eyes widened. Although he had already seen the magic of Yi Feng, Nan Shien was still shocked to the extreme by this kind of magic-like behavior. "Yi Feng, you are so awesome, what's going on?" Yi Feng thought about it and felt that there was no need to hide it. "This is my spatial ability to store things." Yi Feng took out 2 more packages of hot pot dipping ingredients, a bottle of hot pot sesame sauce, a bottle of sesame oil, a bottle of crushed peanuts, a handful of chopped green onions, a handful of coriander. Finally, Yi Feng took out a box of mineral water and ordered. "Shien, I'll leave the rest to you. By the way, as for the hot pot base, what flavor do you want to choose?" "I have tomato base, bone broth base, butter base, mushroom base, butter-flavored base, how about it?" Nan Shien said quickly. "I can do it, leave the rest to me." "Yi Feng, go and have a rest." "Hee, then I'll wait to eat." Yi Feng turned around and sat on the sofa chair to rest. Nan Shien started to process the hot pot ingredients, put the mineral water into the pot, poured in the base ingredients, and prepared the hot pot dipping sauce. Soon, Gululu. The water in the hot pot has been boiling, and the rich aroma of butter hot pot is constantly wafting out. "It smells so good." Nan Shien was pleasantly surprised. The two then sat down and officially started eating. Yi Feng put the meat slices into the pot, waited for a while, took them out, then wrapped a mouthful of prepared dipping sauce, put it in his mouth, and the aroma filled his mouth. Fragrant. So delicious. Yi Feng was full of praise. Nan Shien even burst into tears. She once thought that she would never be able to eat such wonderful food again. At this moment, Nan Xian's heart was filled with great gratitude to Yi Feng. Fortunately, Yi Feng exists. Nan Shien also devoured it. The two began to feast inside the house. On the same floor, in the same room. There were 5 men sitting around the dining table, eating rice soaked in soy sauce. On the table, there was only a bowl of rice and 2 ham sausages. Apart from this, there is nothing else. Everyone ate in silence. Among these people was a man with a well-proportioned figure and gold-rimmed glasses. His name is Sun Weixin, and he is a teacher in the Chinese department of Zhongcheng University. When the Doomsday came, he rested in the faculty building and narrowly escaped death. Later, some campus security guards escaped here in the faculty and staff building. At first, these security guards were quite friendly. But as the days passed, everyone gradually realized that order no longer existed. The security guards, relying on their strength in numbers, began to beat and scold them, the survivor teachers. They also snatched away all the little food. Sun Weixin once almost starved to death. But later on, he was lucky enough to awaken an ability that could turn his body into stone and form stone armor, and he became a superpower. On the first day he had the superpower, Sun Weixin decisively killed those who had bullied him one by one, completing a hearty revenge. The only security guard who survived was a security guard named Wang Dazhuang who treated him well and never bullied him. Wang Dazhuang is at the bottom of the security guard because he is not very smart. Seeing that everyone had almost eaten, Sun Weixin slowly said, "Everyone, we don't have much food. In the afternoon, we will continue to go upstairs to collect supplies." Wang Dazhuang immediately patted his chest and said, "Hey, no problem. I will listen to you, Boss Sun." Sun Weixin glanced at him. As his name suggests, Wang Dazhuang is tall and strong, but a bit silly and outspoken. Little courage, but big appetite. The only advantage is that she is still loyal to him. The other 3 people also nodded in agreement. They were all bullied by the security guards, and they also witnessed Sun Weixin showing off his power and beating all the security guards to death. Cruel means and terrifying power. From then on, the 4 of them regarded Sun Weixin as the boss, and he was the only one who followed his lead. The 5 of them are also the only survivor team in the entire faculty building. Wang Dazhuang continued to eat with his head down, and soon finished 3 bowls of rice. "You are such a foodie, you are so good at eating." Sun Weixin laughed and cursed. Wang Dazhuang smiled naively. Sun Weixin squinted his eyes, thoughtfully. "This building has too few resources. We still have a 6th floor that we haven't searched yet. If we don't have enough resources, we can only risk leaving the building." There weren't many people staying in this school's faculty and staff building to begin with. In addition, when the zombie crisis broke out, it was during class time, so most people were not there. This resulted in that although the number of zombies in the building was small, there was really not much food. Today, they only have a small amount of rice and a few portions of bread and ham that Sun Weixin is reluctant to eat. After several people had eaten a little full, they picked up various homemade weapons, walked out of the room and headed upstairs. "Boss, I seem to smell a special smell," Wang Dazhuang suddenly whispered. Everyone stopped moving forward. "Did you smell it?" Sun Weixin frowned. "I smell it. There is indeed a smell. This smell seems to be the smell of hot pot." Everyone has some doubts in their hearts. Where does the hot pot smell come from? So weird. "Everyone be careful," Sun Weixin ordered. Everyone followed the smell and quickly located the room where the smell originated. "Boss, I remember this as an empty room. There can't be hot pot in it. Didn't we encounter a supernatural event?" Everyone discussed in low voices. The sudden appearance of the smell still made everyone a little suspicious. There was a smell constantly wafting out from the crack in the door. The rich aroma of butter hot pot, as well as the smell of beef and mutton ingredients for hot pot. Everyone outside the door had their Adam's apples rolling, and they kept swallowing their saliva. "It's so fragrant, I really want to eat hot pot. What's going on? Boss, what should we do now?" Everyone was hesitant. "Let's go back to the room first." To be cautious, Sun Weixin took people back to the room. After returning to the room, Sun Weixin said to everyone, I thought about it carefully and thought that there was no supernatural incident. It should be that there is a new person in this building. Dazhuang, monkey, you two take our inventory and go explore the scene first to see what's going on in this room. Dazhuang was Wang Dazhuang, and he immediately nodded in agreement. The monkey's name is Li Fengwei, and he is a counselor at the university. Because of his thin stature, Sun Weixin gave him the nickname, Monkey. He was a little reluctant at the moment. After all, the smell of hot pot appears very strange, and this kind of pathfinding work is a bit dangerous. Aren't you happy to go? Sun Weixin stared at Li Fengwei with an unhappy expression. The monkey couldn't help but shudder. The famous scene of Sun Weixin killing many security guards is still vivid in his mind. Under his pressure, the monkey had no choice but to nod in agreement. The two took the food and bravely came to the door of Yi Feng's room. Boom, boom, boom. The monkey knocked lightly on the door in fear. Hello, is anyone here? Inside the house. Boom, boom, boom. There was a knock on the door. Yi Feng remained unmoved. Nan Shien was a little scared and quickly asked Yi Feng with her eyes. Yi Feng said calmly and softly, "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything." Boom, boom, boom. The knocking on the door continued. "I'll handle it," Yi Feng said as he stood up and walked to the door. "Who's out there?" Outside the door, Wang Dazhuang and Monkey looked at each other. Monkey said in a sincere tone, "Hello, we are survivors here and teachers at Zhongcheng University. My name is Li Fengwei. We smell you, like you're eating hot pot. Can you please give us some food? Thank you very much." Yi Feng said unceremoniously, "Cannot, please leave." At this time, Nan Shien also came to Yi Feng's side, looked out of the cat's eyes, and said softly, "I know this person, it should really be, he is Teacher Li." "Oh, what's your opinion?" Yi Feng's heart moved. Nan Shien thought for a moment and said, "I think that for our safety, we should not open the door." Yi Feng nodded in approval. "Shien, you are right. In the apocalypse, there is absolutely no need to pity others, after all, people's hearts are evil." Outside the door, the monkey's voice continued. "This classmate, please." Yi Feng said coldly, "Get out. I heard the person in the house refuse unceremoniously." After Wang Dazhuang and Monkey exchanged glances, they decided to change their rhetoric. "This classmate, can we exchange rice and bread with you for some hot pot food? Please rest assured, you will never suffer a loss in terms of quantity." I heard people outside the house still chattering. Yi Feng turned to Nan Shien and said, "I opened the door and drove them away." Nan Shien thought for a while and said, "Then I'll stay out of the way first so as not to cause unnecessary trouble to you." After saying that, Nan Shien got up and hid in the bedroom. Although Yi Feng felt it was unnecessary, he did not stop her behavior. "Classmates, you will definitely make a lot of money from this deal." Before he finished speaking, Yi Feng suddenly opened the door. As soon as the door opened, Wang Dazhuang and Monkey's eyes immediately lit up. The aroma of the steaming hot pot in the room makes you salivate. The dining table is filled with a dazzling array of food. Beef and mutton slices, baby cabbage, mushroom meatballs. Yi Feng took a look at Wang Dazhuang and Monkey. One is stout and the other is short and skinny. A thought came to my mind. An invisible, colorless, transparent insect the size of a grain of rice quietly flew out of Yi Feng's sleeve and slowly landed on the roots of Wang Dazhuang's hair. This is Yi Feng's new eavesdropper. Intangible and colorless, it is so small that it is almost difficult to detect. Its function is to monitor the conversations of people around it. Since getting it, Yi Feng has never used it. Now this situation is just right for a test. Wang Dazhuang and Monkey swallowed hard. After releasing the bugs, Yi Feng said coldly, "You are asked to leave because you cannot understand human language." The monkey holds up the bag of food in his hand. "This classmate, I am willing to use what I have in my hand to exchange for a pack of baby cabbage and half a box of beef. Do you think that's okay?" In terms of quantity alone, the two of them did have a lot of things in their hands. There are more than 10 kilograms of rice, 7 or 8 pieces of bread, and 3 ham sausages. Yi Feng obviously made a profit from this transaction. But Yi Feng doesn't care about these 3 melons and 2 dates. No change. Roll. When they heard Yi Feng's refusal, the two of them were not too surprised. Wang Dazhuang said, "Comrade, let's think about it, it's very affordable. Get out or die. A cold murderous aura emanated from Yifeng. The two of them shuddered unconsciously. The monkey wanted to say something more, but Wang Dazhuang held him back. Okay, let's get out immediately. Wang Dazhuang grabbed the collar of the monkey's neck and pulled it away. Seeing the two leaving, Yifeng slowly closed the door. Nan Shien walked out with some worry on her face. Yifeng, do you think they will come to trouble us? After all, there is an old saying in China that wealth should not be exposed. Our hot pot meal didn't mean much before, but now. Yifeng put his hand on Nan Xien's waist and whispered in her ear. Don't worry, Shien, I have my own plan. Don't waste your mind on irrelevant people. You don't need to worry about these fools for the time being. Let's finish these things quickly so we can get down to business. A blush appeared on Nan Xien's pretty face, and she nodded obediently. The two sat down and continued to enjoy the hot pot food. The other side, Wang Dazhuang and Monkey returned to the room. Sun Weixin couldn't wait to greet him. How's it going? How's the probing going? The monkey thought for a while and concluded. There should be two of them, one male and one female. The hot pot ingredients are very rich, including beef, mutton, meatballs, various vegetables. These few words made everyone drool. The monkey continued. Anyway, there are many quantities and rich varieties. If you save a little, it will be enough for us to eat 3 meals in a row. But the man is well dressed, has obviously never suffered anything, and speaks with great confidence. I suspect that he may be a superpower like you, boss. I didn't see the woman's words, but I vaguely heard that her voice was very sweet. She must be a beauty. These few words made Sun Weixin nod his head frequently. Very good, you two did well. He stood up, looked around at the people in front of him, and said fiercely. As the saying goes, how can you allow others to sleep soundly on the side of the bed? I decided to launch a surprise attack on these two people and capture them in one fell swoop. What do you think? No one present objected, because all those who opposed Sun Weixin had been killed by him. Not to mention, there are tempting hotpots to seduce them. Sun Weixin nodded with satisfaction. Very good, set the time for the attack at night. Now let's discuss how to attack. Inside the room, Yifeng ate hot pot and listened to the news from the eavesdroppers. Sneak attack, Yifeng sneered, put down his chopsticks, and looked at Nan Shien. Shien, I'm going out to take care of something. Just stay here and wait for me to come back. After saying that, Yifeng picked up the key, stood up and walked out the door. Nan Shien didn't react until Yifeng opened the door. Yifeng, you want to. When the words came to her mouth, she had another thought. What qualifications do you have to question Yifeng's decision? Nan Shien changed her words. Yifeng, I support all decisions you make unconditionally. I just hope you will be careful and stay safe. In the room, Sun Weixin and Wang Dazhuang were having a heated discussion. The key to the problem is to solve the key problems. The key to a sneak attack. At this moment, a voice came. I don't think it's necessary to go to so much trouble. I can just trick him out and chop him to death with a knife. After hearing this, Sun Weixin subconsciously scolded. How can that be done? You have to use your brain for everything. The next moment, he reacted and his body suddenly froze. Sun Weixin suddenly raised his head and said with a shocked expression. Hey. Who are you? Wang Dazhuang and others also realized something was wrong and quickly turned around to look. Seeing this, Monkey and Wang Dazhuang immediately trembled. The two couldn't help but exclaimed. Boss, he is the hot pot man. It's him. Hearing this, Sun Weixin's expression suddenly changed and he subconsciously asked. Friend, what did you hear? Yifeng seemed to be smiling but not smiling, with a joking look on his face. I heard every word you said. Yifeng emphasized, every sentence. However, Sun Weixin and his group are destined to be unable to realize this. Looking at the confused expressions of several people, Yifeng suddenly lost interest and said calmly, I'll kill you. Hearing this, Wang Dazhuang stammered, you want to kill us? Our boss is an awakened person with the power of petrification. The corners of Sun Weixin's mouth twitched slightly. Wang Dazhuang, you are such an idiot. Why don't you just tell the enemy the color of my underwear? Petrochemical. Interesting. Yifeng looked sideways at Sun Weixin. Sun Weixin's eyes turned cold. Okay, will you accept me? Let me see what you're capable of. A sharp look flashed in Sun Weixin's eyes, and he quickly activated his petrification power. Boom boom. In an instant, his arms, legs, and even his head were covered with a layer of hard pale stone. The whole person looked like an indestructible white stone armor warrior. It looks majestic and brave. The boss is awesome. Kill this arrogant guy. Wang Dazhuang and the others had all seen Sun Weixin's terrifying petrification ability. Their confidence increased for a while and they looked at Yifeng. I wonder what Yifeng's expression would be like when faced with such a terrifying power. Do you regret the big words he just said? What everyone didn't expect was that Yifeng remained calm, and seemed not to take Sun Weixin seriously at all. A trace of recollection flashed in Yifeng's eyes. I had a teammate in my previous life, and I had a good relationship with him. His superpower was petrification. When Sun Weixin saw that Yifeng was a little absent-minded, he suddenly became angry. Okay, you look down on me, right? Watch how I ravage you and beat your brains out. When the petrification ability is activated, his defense is nearly invincible and he is invulnerable to swords. Strength and speed have increased significantly. No matter whether you hit ordinary people or zombies, you still hit a child with one punch. This is his full form. With his current energy, he can only last for 1 minute. So he wants to make a quick decision. Sun Weixin roared angrily, waved his stone fist, and rushed towards Yifeng. Yifeng summoned the flame sword with a thought. An insignificant flash of lightning attached to the blade. This is a little trick that Yifeng figured out in his spare time. It enhances attack power and consumes very little energy. Yifeng's body flashed and disappeared. No, not good. Sun Weixin's expression suddenly changed. This person's speed is so fast. A few meters away and there in an instant. Yifeng's flame sword drew a bright light in the air. Cut to Sun Weixin. Sun Weixin also roared, "Go to hell." His fist swelled again. Knife and fist meet. Poof. Under Sun Weixin's disbelieving gaze, his seemingly indestructible stone armor shattered instantly. No, this is impossible. Sun Weixin was a little unbelievable. I saw that my stone armor was suddenly cut with a huge gap by Yifeng. Hiss. Sun Weixin broke out in cold sweat. Heartbreaking pain came from his arm, and blood continued to flow out. Hey, is your defense quite strong? It seems that your superpower is not a common level, but it is a rare level. Yifeng backhanded and struck again. Quick, it's so fast. By the time Sun Weixin reacted, the knife had already struck him hard on the neck. Poof, cut it off with one knife. Sun Weixin's head rolled to the ground. The petrification effect fades and turns into an ordinary head. Sun Weixin's expression was full of disbelief. He couldn't believe it. The supernatural stone armor that he was proud of was as vulnerable to Yifeng's two swords as if it were made of paper. After Sun Weixin died, his body collapsed and his petrified part was broken. Dazhuang, Monkey and several others looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. No, this is impossible. How could this happen? The boss died like this. It's over now. Yifeng grinned and said. Now, it's your turn. Under Yifeng's cold gaze, the monkeys and the others were completely frozen, as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. No, don't kill us, don't kill. We were all ordered and unjustly accused. Our sins will not lead to death. Although Wang Dazhuang is tall, he is a complete coward. He was the first to kneel down and beg for mercy. Several other people's bodies were shaking like chaff, and they knelt down together, constantly begging for mercy. Give me a reason not to kill you. Yifeng was very interested. I don't want to die, please. I have a beautiful sister. Yifeng looked indifferent. The figure flashed. Continuous slashing with the flaming sword. Blood spurted out like pillars. Several human heads rolled to the ground. Several people died. Not a good reason. Yifeng waved his hand to take back the bug. Without staying any longer, he turned around and left. Return to the house. Nan Shien cautiously poked her head out, and when she saw Yifeng returning safely, her pretty face was full of joy, and her delicate body threw herself at Yifeng. Fortunately, you're back. I was worried to death. Although Nan Shien knew that Yifeng was very powerful and that several people should be no match for him, she was still a little worried. Yifeng hugged the beauty into his arms. Why, are you worried about me? Yi Feng lowered his head and smiled. Nan Shien nodded and said softly, I'm really worried about you. Yi Feng looked at Nan Shien with some emotion. She is worthy of being the #1 campus beauty of Zhongcheng University. Not only does she have great looks and a good figure, but her skin is really smooth and tender. Can I take a bath first? Nan Shien said softly. Go quickly. Yi Feng watched Nan Shien enter the bathroom. Sit on the bed and wait patiently. The night was wonderful. After an hour, Nan Shien fell into a deep sleep. Yi Feng next to him stretched his body. He gently stroked Nan Xian's hair and admired the beauty's peerless appearance. The beauty of Nan Shien seems to be a miracle of the creator. He has jet black hair, slender eyebrows, rosy lips, a tall figure, a well-shaped body, and skin that can be broken by blows. In addition, Nan Shien has another biggest advantage: her legs are white, long and thin. Long snow-white legs, and small jade feet. Combined together, coupled with her natural cool temperament, it is like a 9-day fairy descending into the world of mortals. It's like, Beautiful's mother opened the door for Beautiful, she's so beautiful. Yi Feng was in bed, unable to sleep. But it's not easy to wake Nan Shien up. Yi Feng thought back on the past few days. He currently has 3 subordinates: Lin Xiaoxiao, Zhao Wumei, and Nan Shien. Judging from their appearance alone, both Lin Xiaoxiao and Zhao Wumei are absolutely beautiful. But in front of Nan Shien, he was still a little behind. However, Nan Shien also has shortcomings. Just a little thin in stature. Somewhat flat. Yi Feng glanced at Nan Shien. She slept very deeply, even snoring slightly. Yi Feng couldn't help but smile. Stunning beauty. Yi Feng felt that he was not sleepy, so he simply got up and quietly walked out of the bedroom. Come to the living room. Looking up, Yi Feng found that the sky outside had darkened. Nan Shien was still sleeping soundly. He couldn't bear to wake her up and thought to himself, Xiao, I have no choice but to feel sorry for you. Taking out his mobile phone, Yi Feng sent a message to Lin Xiaoxiao, telling her that he would not go back tonight. Lin Xiaoxiao was naturally disappointed. I sent multiple text messages in succession, and finally even made a voice and video call. Yi Feng simply said a few words of relief, and then put down the phone. Click on the panel to view the number of baits. Bait 20 servings. Yi Feng smiled slightly. Before he knew it, he had 20 more pieces of bait. Keep going. 10 times first. As soon as the fishing rod moved, the fish hook flew into the endless darkness. Tip. Fishing in progress. Yi Feng waited silently. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 bottle of primary reply potion. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting a complete DVD collection of Hoshigong X +1 copy. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, for obtaining +1 tactile enhancement scroll. Yi Feng's eyes lit up. Once again, I fished out a primary recovery potion and some kind of strengthening scroll. Tip. Fishing in progress. Yi Feng looked forward to it. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 book, Mingchong Fairy Record. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting the full set of Marvel movie CDs +1 set. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and obtaining the epic skill, +1 Eye of Insight. Yi Feng was shocked. Shipping. New skills. Yi Feng first looked at the skills. Skill, Eye of Insight. Quality, Epic. Description, Active skill. After learning this skill, you will gain insight into the nature of things and get more tips. Woohoo. It even has a detection skill. Yi Feng felt happy and directly extracted the skill. A purple source bead floats in the sky. Yi Feng reached out and crushed the source pearl into pieces. The next moment, the skill source bead turned into a purple stream of light and merged into Yi Feng's body. Tip. Congratulations on learning the epic skill, Eye of Insight. At the same time, a message about a skill appeared in Yi Feng's heart. Not sure what the effect is. Yi Feng turned around and cast his insight eyes on Nan Shien. Name. Nan Shien. Description: a very good-looking human woman. Power: none. Combat Power Index: 7. Surprise flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. This skill can actually detect a person's combat power, which is quite fun. Yi Feng continued to look at other items. Item: floor. Description: a worn-out floor. Yi Feng continued to use the Eye of Insight. Item: double bed. Description: a shabby bed. Just now, a man and a woman were making love here. Yi Feng smiled. The skill of Eye of Insight is still somewhat useful. At the very least, some information can be obtained. The skill test is over. Yi Feng looked at the new scroll again. Item: touch enhancement scroll. Quality: rare. Description: after using the scroll, your sense of touch will be improved to a certain extent. The scroll is still the old series. It's tactile enhancement of sensory enhancement. Yi Feng took out the scroll. Whoa! A palm-sized scroll appeared in his hand. Yi Feng tore open the scroll. The small scroll turned into a stream of blue light in an instant, pouring into Yi Feng's body. Yi Feng's body trembled, feeling a force quickly integrated into his tactile nerves. At the same time, Yi Feng felt a slight sting coming from all parts of his body. He had to close his eyes slightly and force himself to adapt to the strengthening. Not long after, the strengthening was over. Yi Feng opened his eyes and touched the clothes and table. Surprise flashed in his eyes. Every item he touched seemed to have a new feeling. The soft fabrics, cold metal, were all more clear and real. Yi Feng even felt a little bit about the air flowing around him. It feels good. Yi Feng smiled. There are still 10 fishing opportunities, and Yi Feng is not ready to save them. System: continue fishing 10 times. The fishing rod moves. Tip: fishing in progress. Yi Feng sat casually on a chair, waiting for the fishing results. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 Warwick shortwave radio. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 glorious model of Azure Lane. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting Xinjiang brand canned yellow peach +1 bottle. Yi Feng: it seems that it is not shipped. The system prompts to continue. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, for getting 10,000 matches +1. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 Bubujao Genius smartwatch. Tip: congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, for obtaining +1 intuition strengthening scroll. Yi Feng breathed a sigh of relief. If there is a reward, then it will be enough. Not long after, the fishing was over. Yi Feng thought and took out the only harvest from the fishing space. Item: intuition strengthening scroll. Quality: rare. Description: after using the scroll, your intuition will be improved to a certain extent. Intuition with enhanced 6 senses. Yi Feng tore open the intuition enhancement scroll. The next moment, the scroll turned into a stream of blue light and entered Yi Feng's body. He closed his eyes slightly and didn't feel many changes. It seems, no change. Yi Feng opened his eyes, a little confused. There have been some changes to the previous enhancements. Wait, what is this strange feeling? Yi Feng's eyes moved slightly. In the room, a cockroach emerged from the crack in the wall under the dining table. Yi Feng squatted down and observed. The cockroach wandered around and got in through another gap. Is this intuition? Or it can also be called the 6th sense. Yi Feng's eyes became brighter and brighter. After the strengthening, his perception ability was greatly improved. Yi Feng can more keenly capture subtle changes in the surrounding environment. Strengthening of intuition, not bad. Yi Feng smiled with satisfaction. This kind of intuition strengthening is helpful both in combat and in making some judgments. Strengthening is over. Yi Feng took a breath. Although it's not the 7th day yet, but I can already try to improve my star rating. Thinking of this, Yi Feng took out a zombie crystal core from the storage space and activated the Eye of Insight to check it. Item: First Order Crystal Core Elite Level. Description: a crystal core containing energy, which can be absorbed to enhance the strength of the superpower. Absorbing elite level crystal cores can help superpowers break ranks. After learning the detailed information, Yi Feng's eyes flashed with surprise. That mutated zombie pig is indeed a first-order mutated zombie. Special crystal nuclei are also called mutated crystal nuclei, elite crystal nuclei, and advanced crystal nuclei. The crystal nuclei taken from mutant zombies are all elite crystal nuclei. The crystal nuclei taken from ordinary zombies are all ordinary crystal nuclei. If the elite crystal core in Yi Feng's hand is used to absorb and enhance strength, the effect is equivalent to 3 to 4 ordinary crystal cores. However, in the apocalypse, generally no one would have the luxury to use this special crystal core to increase their strength. Because this special crystal core can help people with superpowers break the shackles of their bodies and advance their evolution to the second stage. The initial stage of a superpower is 1 star. By continuously absorbing crystal core energy, superpowers can improve their star rating. The upper limit for ordinary superpowers is 7 stars. It is said that there is some kind of treasure that can break the 7-star limit. Let the superpowers be upgraded to 8 and 9 stars. However, Yi Feng had only heard about this treasure and had never seen it. Once the superpower's strength reaches the star limit, the strength can no longer improve. At this time, the superpower needs to break the shackles of the human body and complete evolution. The second stage of evolution is a new beginning, and the strength of superpowers will increase by leaps and bounds. Yi Feng stared at the crystal core in front of him. Special crystal cores can be used to break realm restrictions and enhance star strength. Rationally speaking, you can hunt ordinary zombies, obtain crystal cores, and improve your level the day after tomorrow. It is most cost-effective to keep this elite crystal core and use it as an advanced step, but Yi Feng suddenly smiled confidently and took the crystal core in his hand. Tianyu started the game and was far ahead in strength. How could he lack crystal cores in the future? As time goes by, the number of mutated zombies will increase. As long as you have enough strength, you can obtain a large number of crystal nuclei. Thinking of this, Yi Feng's eyes flashed. Start practicing. There are generally 2 ways to absorb the energy of zombie crystal nuclei, holding it in your hand or swallowing it. Both methods require the person with superpowers to use their thoughts to absorb energy into the body bit by bit. It is worth mentioning that if too many crystal nuclei are swallowed, there is a risk of death. It is safer to hold it in your hand and absorb it, but it requires more concentration. Both methods of absorbing energy have their own pros and cons, but the absorption efficiency is the same. However, the efficiency of energy absorption by different superpowers is different. The factor that affects the speed of absorbing crystal nuclei is the superpower level of the superpower user. Ordinary level superpowers require about 24 hours to absorb a zombie crystal core. A rare power, it takes about 12 hours to absorb a zombie crystal core. Epic level power, absorbing a zombie crystal core takes about 6 hours. The legendary superpower, absorbing a zombie crystal core, takes about 3 hours. As for mythical abilities, Yi Feng had never heard of any supernatural being with mythical powers before. In other words, the energy absorption efficiency of the mythical power will now be tested by Yi Feng himself. Thinking of this, Yi Feng felt a little excited. He sat cross-legged, took the crystal core in his hand, calmed down and began to absorb the energy in the crystal core. Swish, swish, swish. Wisps of energy, like clear water, slowly poured into Yi Feng's body. Part of the energy was integrated into Yi Feng's body, constantly strengthening his body. The other part is integrated into Yi Feng's dantian, constantly increasing his energy. A hint of surprise flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. Energy increases efficiency, so fast. Then Yi Feng closed his eyes slightly and continued to absorb the energy of the crystal core. About 3 hours later, at a certain moment, Yi Feng's body trembled suddenly, and his breath suddenly strengthened. Yi Feng looked happy. His strength has been promoted from 1 star to 2 stars. Yi Feng continued to absorb energy with his eyes closed, absorbing all the energy of the special crystal core in his hand. The crystal core in his hand also dimmed. Yi Feng opened his eyes. A flash of joy flashed through his eyes. The energy absorption speed was faster than he imagined. In his last life, he only had ordinary level superpowers, and could absorb an ordinary crystal core in a full 24 hours. These 24 hours require continuous absorption. And a person always needs to eat and move, and it is impossible to concentrate all the time. Ordinary level superpowers often need more time to absorb a crystal core. In this life, Yi Feng has mythical powers, and it only takes about an hour to absorb an ordinary crystal core. What Yi Feng absorbed this time was a special crystal nucleus with 3 times the energy of an ordinary crystal nucleus. It took more than 3 hours. If it were an ordinary superpower from the previous life, I'm afraid it wouldn't be able to absorb it all in 3 days and 3 nights. Yi Feng closed his eyes slightly. He felt the surging energy in his body, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but reveal joy. He waved his fist again and found that his strength had also increased considerably. Yi Feng's eyes showed surprise. This kind of improvement is much greater than the ordinary abilities in the previous life. Ordinary, rare, epic, legend, myth, different levels of abilities, the increase in combat power index is completely different. This gap will only get bigger and bigger in the future, and eventually it will be as different as a chasm. Thinking of this, Yi Feng stretched out with satisfaction, turned around and walked to the big bed. Nan Shien was still sleeping soundly. Increased strength, beautiful woman in my arms. This day is so beautiful. With a smile on his face, Yi Feng hugged Nan Shien and fell asleep. The next morning, a ray of bright sunlight poured into the room. Yi Feng woke up leisurely. I lazily took out my phone and glanced at the time. It was already past 10 in the morning. Today is the 6th day of the end, and there is nothing too urgent. Yi Feng turned his head and glanced at Nan Shien. Her long hair shawls her shoulders, her beautiful face is slightly frowned, and her slender and straight legs are folded together, as if she had a nightmare. Yi Feng gently stroked her hair, with a hint of doting in his eyes. From this perspective, Nan Shien actually looks like a royal sister. Fair skin, beautiful appearance, dark hair, straight body, tall and long legs. My sister's legs are not legs, they are clear water on the banks of the Seine. Quote. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, Yi Feng didn't want to disturb her any more. During this period, Nan Shien was frightened all day long, and the pressure was indeed high enough. Yi Feng completely understands. Yi Feng got up and walked into the kitchen, taking out a set of kitchen utensils, a few eggs, and a bucket of oil from the space. He took out 2 more packages of wontons and a large bucket of mineral water. After preparing the ingredients, Yi Feng started to get busy. Heat a pot, boil water, fry eggs. Not long after, a simple breakfast was ready. After eating hot pot twice in a row, Yi Feng now wanted to eat something light. The aroma of small wontons and fried egg spreads. Nan Shien's eyelashes twitched slightly, and she woke up faintly. Smell good. She had just woken up and hadn't figured out the situation yet. A look of confusion. Yi Feng walked out of the kitchen carrying 2 bowls of steaming wontons and placed them on the dining table. Shien, are you awake? Breakfast is ready, come and eat. Looking at the scene in front of her, Nan Shien felt moved in her heart. Yi Feng is so nice. Handsome, capable, fierce. He even took the initiative to cook for her. She stood up quickly. Yi Feng, just let me do simple things like this from now on. However, when her body moved slightly, she couldn't help but let out an ouch sound. Her pretty face blushed slightly. The battle yesterday was too fierce, and many parts of my body were a little sore. More importantly, Nan Shien's clothes were torn into pieces. She has nothing to wear. Yi Feng also saw Nan Shien's embarrassment. A thought came to my mind. He took out a pair of lace pajamas from the space and handed it to her. Change into this first, and I'll find some clothes for you later. Nan Shien stood up and took over her clothes, unintentionally having a happy couple. Yi Feng looked at it with admiration, and couldn't take his eyes off it. Nan Shien looked at her clothes and her pretty face turned red. This seems to be a set of pajamas. But she didn't say much and just put on the pajamas obediently. Waiting for her to finish changing her clothes, Yi Feng looked up and down. The burgundy pajamas perfectly match Nan Shien. The close-fitting design of the pajamas perfectly shows off Nan Shien's slightly curved hips, slender waist, and fair calves. Coupled with her natural snow-white neck, beautiful face, and cold temperament. Save energy, Yi Feng secretly admired in his heart. If she had a shaking red wine glass in her hand. This feeling, I really deserve to be the #1 school beauty, with a figure that is completely natural for clothes. Looks good no matter what you wear. Nan Shien sat down with some embarrassment. She has never worn such clothes in her life. The aroma of breakfast spreads and is fragrant. The steaming hot wontons firmly attracted Nan Shien's eyes. However, since Yi Feng hadn't moved her chopsticks yet, she couldn't do it for a while. Yi Feng sat down, picked up his chopsticks and said, "Eat. Don't wait for me." The two began to deal with the breakfast in front of them. Take a bite of wontons, eat an omelette. The simple breakfast made Nan Shien feel happy for a while. Just this breakfast, it looks very simple. Nowadays, 90% of people can't eat it. Looking back, the luckiest thing that has happened to her these days is receiving Yi Feng's confession message. The most correct decision I made was to agree to be his woman. After a while, the two of them wiped out the breakfast on the table. Yi Feng took out a lot of clothes from the space. T-shirts, shirts, jackets, shorts, overalls, bell-bottoms, leggings, dresses. There are also all kinds of underwear of various brands and colors. There is a huge variety. Yi Feng spread these all over the bed. Wow, Yi Feng, how did you get so many clothes? Nan Shien looked surprised. Just take your pick and find something suitable to wear, Yi Feng said with a smile. Nan Shien nodded, bending over, picking out clothes. This behavior undoubtedly showed off her tall figure. Yi Feng admired it quietly. Nan Shien quickly found a suitable set of clothes. The process of changing clothes was naturally a feast for Yi Feng's eyes. After a while, Nan Shien changed her clothes and slowly walked out of the bedroom. Yi Feng couldn't help but his eyes lit up after seeing Nan Xien's new outfit. She only changed into a very simple outfit. A simple rubber band ties up the hair, making the whole person look particularly cute and playful. The top is a gray-green tight-fitting short-sleeved shirt, which shows off her figure. The lower body is a pair of dark blue close-fitting jeans, which outlines her perfect body curves. Slender waist, straight long legs, and plump and round buttocks. Yi Feng licked the corners of his lips and his body was slightly restless. What a great effort! Facing Yi Feng's burning gaze, Nan Shien glanced at Yi Feng with watery eyes. Bad guy, don't look at me like that. Yi Feng chuckled strangely, with a hint of ridicule in his tone. Shien, your long legs. Why are they so slender, straight, and white? Nan Shien is pretty and shy. Stop talking. Yi Feng grabbed her jade hand and whispered softly. Shien, don't worry, I will be good to you. Hearing this, Nan Shien's smile was as bright as a flower, bright and moving. A smile brings beauty. I believe you. Yi Feng's heart was filled with excitement. He pulled her into his arms. A flush appeared on Nan Shien's beautiful face. Her beautiful eyes like stars were also covered with a light mist at this moment. Delicate beauty, bright and moving. Yi Feng swallowed unconsciously. The clouds gather and the rain disperses. The bed was in a mess. Nan Xien's beautiful face was flushed, her eyes were blurred, and her little hands had nowhere to put them. Nan Xien's cute appearance endeared her to Yi Feng. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Tip. Trigger event. Tip. If you are in a happy mood, you will be rewarded with plus 10 pieces of fishing bait. Yi Feng was surprised and clicked to see the number of baits. Bait 10 servings. Yi Feng smiled. At present, he is in good condition and in a good mood. It is perfect for him to go fishing. Yi Feng made a thought and chose fishing. On the fishing platform, the golden fishing rod moved and the fishhook was thrown into the boundless darkness. Tip. Fishing in progress. Yi Feng prayed silently in his heart. Great system, give me something useful. The next moment, the system prompts. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 wax figure of the live-action version of Wonder Woman from the film and television. Tip. Congratulations to the host for your successful fishing and getting Gao Siji's ultra-thin sweet sleeping pants +1 pack. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing, you have obtained a temporary buff scroll, movement speed +1. Temporary buff scroll. Yi Feng was slightly startled. The system prompts to continue. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting Blue Star Daxia coin +10,000 yuan. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 Green Lane Vicious White Rabbit figurine. Tip. Congratulations to the host for successfully fishing and getting +1 magically modified RV. Not long after, the fishing was over. Not much gained this time. Yi Feng frowned slightly. Click into the fishing space to check this harvest. Item temporary buff scroll, movement speed. Quality rare. Description: after using the scroll, your movement speed will be temporarily increased by 10 times for 10 minutes. Yi Feng suddenly felt disappointed. Isn't this just a temporary buff? Can increase movement speed 10 times. The effect is powerful, but unfortunately it is not permanent. Yifeng put the scroll into the storage space. Continue to view other items. Models, night pants, these are common items. When Yifeng saw the modified RV, his eyes couldn't help but light up. Item, modified off-road RV. Quality, rare. Description, silver RV, with super strong defense, luxurious interior, and multiple functions such as automatic obstacle removal and automatic driving. Inside the RV, it is endowed with mysterious space magic, spaciousness and comfort. Yifeng felt happy. Nice one. With the modified RV, your future travels will be guaranteed. He no longer has to ride a small electric car around the streets. Any heavy trucks can also be eliminated. If only I had this RV. My own bird will not be beaten to death by the Zhou brothers. After the surprise, Yifeng transferred all the items caught this time to the storage space. Then sink your thoughts into space. Magically modified RV, smooth lines, silver-white hanging appearance, high-end and cool. The more Yifeng looked at it, the more he liked it. It's a pity that the space here is too small, so we can't take out the RV to have a glimpse. A thought came to my mind. Yifeng clicked on the task panel. The system prompts. Tip: please choose whether to increase the difficulty of daily tasks. In front of Yifeng, two choices appeared. 1. Yes. 2. No. Yifeng smiled slightly. Can the difficulty be increased? Decisively choose option 1. Increase the difficulty. Daily tasks are spawned. Daily mission: kill 40 zombies. Task reward: 40 pieces of fishing bait. Yifeng's eyes lit up. Really good. Mission rewards continue to upgrade. As for the difficulty of the mission, killing dozens more zombies is also called difficulty. Tip: you trigger a random task, do you accept it? Yifeng was slightly startled. What? Fishing system, and random tasks? Yifeng's eyes moved slightly and he clicked to accept the task. Random mission: kill 100 zombies. Task completion reward: 10 high-level fishing baits. The system prompts to continue. Tip: after completing this task, the permission to synthesize fish bait will be enabled. Yifeng's eyes narrowed. Are there advanced fishing baits as mission rewards? Do you still have permission to synthesize fish bait? System: what is advanced fishing bait? What are the synthesis permissions? The mechanical system ignored Yifeng. Yifeng had already guessed this result and was not disappointed. Anyway, I just tried to ask, and it didn't cost any money. Yifeng's eyes flashed with excitement. Can high-grade fishing bait produce high-grade harvests? Don't worry, you will know the result after completing the task anyway. Yifeng closed the system with satisfaction and turned around to glance at Nan Shien. Nan Shien has woken up from her intoxication. At this moment, she was holding the phone tightly in her hand, and her pretty face was full of confusion. Yifeng smiled and asked, Shien, what's wrong with you? Nan Shien looked up at Yifeng, but stopped talking. When Yifeng saw this, his heart moved slightly. Shien, if you have anything to say, just say it directly and don't keep any secrets from me. Nan Shien bit her lower lip lightly and whispered. Brother Yifeng, can I ask you for something? Yifeng narrowed his eyes and said slowly. Shien, tell me what's going on first. After reliving his life, Yifeng vowed not to be a licker. So he wanted to hear what Nan Shien asked for and whether it was too much, and then decide whether to agree or not. Nan Shien breathed a sigh of relief and quickly explained. Yifeng, it's like this, my aunt Nan Rian, she is the manager of the branch of Qingshou Group. When the end came, she was in the conference room of the Jinding Hotel, discussing business with another company. Now she is trapped in a warehouse there, in danger, and the situation is very bad. Nan Shien came eloquently. To put it simply, Nan Rian, Nan Shien's aunt, was trapped in the Jinding Hotel and was in urgent need of rescue. In fact, her aunt Nan Rian at least asked Nan Shien for help. However, at that time, Nan Shien was trapped in the Zhongda library and was also asking for help from the outside world. It was completely like a clay Buddha crossing the river, he could not save himself. Can't really help at all. However, now and then, Nan Shien now has new support and gets in touch with her aunt Nan Rian again. Inside the room, Nan Shien bit her lower lip lightly and said pitifully. Yifeng, I just contacted my aunt again. She is now in a presidential suite at the Jinding Hotel. Only you can help me now. I know, This request is a bit excessive, so I won't force anything. I'm just saying that if this matter is within your ability, please save her. Of course, all the prerequisites must be within the scope of ensuring your own safety, otherwise I would rather you not go. After Nan Shien received the news from her aunt asking for help, she felt restless for a while. She knew that she had no ability. If you want to rescue Nan Rian, you can only rely on Yifeng. But she also knew in her heart, why should she ask Yifeng to take risks and run around? Besides, Yifeng is her hope for survival now. If something goes wrong while saving her aunt, she will regret it even more. Yifeng touched his chin and his eyes moved slightly. Anyway, he has to go out to hunt zombies and complete the mission. Now there are new RVs on the way. Saving someone is easy. Thinking of this, Yifeng smiled slightly. No problem, of course I want to save your aunt. Seeing Yifeng agree, Nan Shien stood up excitedly and hugged Yifeng with a red face. Yifeng, I love you so much, I will share the good news with my aunt now. Nan Shien quickly sent the message. Immediately afterwards, Nan Shien excitedly flipped through the photo album on her phone, quickly found a few photos, and handed the phone to Yifeng. Yifeng, look, this is my aunt, Nan Rian. Yifeng took the phone and glanced at the photo casually. The next moment, he couldn't help but feel shocked. The photo shows a handsome and graceful beauty wearing a suit and uniform. Ridiculously good figure. Yifeng subconsciously flipped through the photo album continuously. The majestic chest, plump buttocks, the hot figure is even better than Lin Xiaoxiao. Shien, if you had told me earlier that my aunt looks so amazing, I would have agreed earlier. Yifeng looked up at Nan Shien and asked, Shien, your aunt looks quite young. Well, my aunt Nan Rian is just older, she is actually less than 30 years old this year. Nan Shien answered honestly. Yifeng Zhuangruo asked unintentionally. Well, she looks like a mature lady. Is she already married? Well, yes, Nan Shien nodded. She is already married, but she has no relationship with her uncle. She only had to get married to cope with the forced marriage at home. After getting married, my aunt and uncle lived in two places most of the time. She only wanted to pursue a career. Hearing this, Yifeng was a little disappointed, but also a little happy. If such a familiar woman is bitten by a zombie. Thinking of this, Yifeng made a decision immediately. Shien, it's not too late. Since my aunt is in danger now, we should get to the hotel quickly and rescue her. Yeah, Nan Shien nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. So I decided to set off immediately. Yifeng waved his hand. Wow, all the items in the house disappeared in the blink of an eye. They were all put into storage space by Yifeng. Nan Shien also quickly put on her clothes. The two quickly got ready to go. Come on, follow me downstairs. Yifeng hugged Nan Xien's waist, hold me tight. Nan Shien was like a koala, wrapping her arms around Yifeng's waist and pressing her pretty face against Yifeng's chest. Yifeng took him to the window and jumped up. The sound of wind blew past Nan Xien's ears, scaring her tightly into Yifeng's arms. Yifeng tapped the curtain with his toes to relieve pressure. The two landed smoothly. Ho ho ho. Several zombies with red eyes waved their sharp claws and rushed towards Yifeng and the two of them. Lightning suddenly appeared, and several zombies were instantly blackened and slowly fell to the ground. Yifeng has a hidden necklace on his body, and the zombies were attracted by Nan Shien. It's time for the magically modified RV to appear. Yifeng thought. A silver RV, 8 meters long and 3 meters wide, all silver in color and with smooth lines, instantly appeared in the open space ahead. This RV is very good looking and has a simple design. Just from the appearance alone, it is full of a sense of technology. What kind of RV is this? It looks so cool, Nan Shien exclaimed. It was also the first time for Yifeng to see an RV with his own eyes. He felt a little excited and walked up to the door. The door of the silver RV slowly opened. The magically modified RV has been automatically bound to Yifeng as the owner. Yifeng and Nan Shien took steps to enter the RV. Looking around, both of them were a little shocked. The first is space. From the outside, the RV doesn't seem very big. But when you enter the RV, you will find that the space is wider than you imagined. At least 200 square meters. Yifeng secretly praised it. Is this the effect of space magic? Awesome. The spacious space is equipped with large sofas, dining tables and chairs, as well as several sets of comfortable beds. In terms of kitchen facilities, it is equipped with microwaves, ovens, refrigerators, cabinets, dishwashers. Separate bathroom, sound system, large screen TV, game console, everything is available. At this moment, a crisp voice sounded. "Hello, Master, I am RV Smart Rice. Now let me introduce you to the various conditions of the RV. This RV has a very high defense system, which can resist ordinary bullets, missiles and other physical attacks, as well as any attacks below level 4. It also has strong resistance to level 4. The basic functions of the RV include intelligent navigation system, automatic driving function, automatic clearing of road obstacles." Quote. After a while, the introduction was completed. Yi Feng immediately issued an order. "Mi Li, start autonomous driving and target Jinding Hotel." As soon as he finished speaking, the big screen in front of the RV suddenly lit up. "Buzz. Okay, we are guiding you to Jinding Hotel. Autopilot in progress." The next moment, a slight roar sounded. "Start the RV and drive away." Yi Feng sat comfortably on the sofa and looked forward. The roads in the city are not always smooth. On some roads, there are a large number of zombies and abandoned cars. In this case, you can see the powerful performance of this modified off-road RV. I saw a silver-white triangular steel plate automatically appearing on the front end of the vehicle. The triangular steel plate is like clear snow, knocking away all the zombies and small vehicles blocking the road. Flying all the way. Inside the RV, Yi Feng sat on the sofa and made 2 cups of coffee. The sound insulation and stability capabilities of the modified RV are fully maximized, so external disturbances will not affect the interior of the vehicle at all. People in the car only need to wait patiently and they can easily reach their destination. The modified version of the RV flies all the way. Yi Feng handed the coffee to Nan Shien. Nan Shien took the coffee and took a sip. However, he still looked anxious and restless. "Don't worry, your aunt will be fine." Yi Feng comforted her. Nan Shien nodded and looked at the phone screen again. "Brother Yi Feng, how long do we have until we arrive at the hotel?" Yi Feng glanced at the route and speed. "It will take about 10 more minutes." Nan Shien breathed a sigh of relief and murmured, "If it takes 10 minutes, it will be fine." At this moment, Nan Shien's cell phone suddenly vibrated. I was shocked. She immediately opened the screen and clicked on the message. However, the moment Nan Shien saw the news, my brain immediately buzzed and went blank. After coming back to her senses, she quickly sent a series of messages to Nan Rian. However, these messages from her were like a stone sinking into the ocean, with no response. Yi Feng noticed something was wrong with Nan Xian's condition and asked quickly, "Xian, what's wrong with you? What happened?" A flash of sadness flashed in Nan Xian's eyes, and her beautiful eyes were filled with tears. "Brother Yi Feng, we are late. My aunt just sent a message that she has been bitten by a zombie." When Yi Feng heard this, he was suddenly shocked. Bitten by a zombie. Generally speaking, after being infected with the zombie virus, the corpse will transform into a corpse in about 5 minutes. Yi Feng looked sad. Such a beautiful woman turned into a zombie. It's really a beauty's fate. Sure enough, in the face of natural disasters, everyone is treated equally regardless of status, beauty or ugliness. Nan Xian's beautiful eyes were red and her voice was choked. "Brother Yi Feng, we don't need to waste time, go to Jinding Hotel." "Woo." I sent a few more messages, but neither I nor my aunt responded. Time goes back a little bit. 9 o'clock in the morning. At this time, Yi Feng and Nan Shien were still sleeping in the staff dormitory. As for the Jinding Hotel, there were more than a dozen survivors gathered in a back kitchen warehouse on the 8th floor. Ho ho ho. Ouch. Outside the kitchen warehouse, the howls of zombies kept coming. Nan Rian hid in the corner with a sad face. "Look at the others. Basically, they all look numb and their eyesight is dull." Sighed helplessly. When the disaster occurred, Nan Rian was negotiating business with another company on behalf of the company. Who knew that the situation would suddenly change and the end of the world would come? Most of the people around him turned into zombies in the blink of an eye. Fortunately, he was escorted by bodyguard Li Jiandong and hid in the kitchen warehouse. There are more than 10 survivors hiding here. They survived today relying on the ingredients in the kitchen warehouse. These days, their mentality has also changed again and again. I had illusions from the beginning and expected rescue. Later, superpowers appeared and order collapsed. It is frequently exposed on the internet that humans are killing each other, and even cannibalism occurs from time to time. The atmosphere in the warehouse became increasingly uncomfortable. Until yesterday afternoon, everyone was completely out of food. This means, everyone will starve to death. Nan Shien hid in the corner, her heart filled with despair. The message asking for help has been sent countless times. It's a pity that under current circumstances, how many people have the energy to save others. At this moment, a sharp female voice broke the calm. Little fat man, you eat the most these days. I saw you hiding food yesterday. Hand it over quickly. Everyone is still hungry. Nan Shien looked up. The person speaking was the administrative secretary of the other company. In my impression, she is a gentle young lady with black stockings and beautiful legs. Now it seems completely different. The secretary in black silk stockings seems to have failed in negotiating with the fat man and is now pulling the strings. Don't slander people out of thin air. The little fat man said in a panic. At this moment, a burly man in the corner suddenly raised his head, his eyes shining. His name is Li Jiandong, and he is Nan Shien's bodyguard and driver. At the beginning of the disaster, Nan Shien was lucky enough to survive under the protection of Li Jiandong. At the beginning, Li Jiandong had great respect for Nan Shien. However, as time went by, Li Jiandong gradually discovered that he was the real leader here. His attitude became more and more rude to her. Even in the past 2 days, there was something wrong with the way he looked at her. Nan Shien understood. If there weren't too many people here, Li Jiandong would be wary. Nan Shien's sense of crisis became more and more serious. But there was nothing she could do. Li Jiandong strode up to the little fat man and scolded sternly. Hiding something. Hand it over quickly. The little fat man's eyes were evasive, and he was still quibbling. Don't listen to that woman's nonsense. I saw it with my own eyes, and it can still be faked. The secretary in black stockings screamed. Li Jiandong bent down and began to tear off the little fat man's clothes. Go away, let me go. The little fat man struggled. However, he was unable to resist the burly Li Jiandong. It didn't take long. Gululu, half a packet of sugar and 2 cucumbers, fell out of the little fat man's crotch. Li Jiandong was a little disgusted and a little surprised. Continue to check to make sure that the little fat man has nothing to hide. Li Jiandong picked up these things unceremoniously, turned around and left. The little fat man pulled Li Jiandong's trouser leg with a wailing look on his face and screamed miserably. Don't take it all away, it's all mine, it's all mine. Get out of here. Li Jiandong kicked him to the ground. The little fat man fell to the ground and kept moaning. Seeing this scene, everyone around them looked at the food with bright eyes. Li Jiandong had a ferocious look on his face. Get out. Get away from me. This little thing is not enough for me to squeeze through my teeth. If anyone takes it from me, I will kill him. Li Jiandong waved his kitchen knife. Seeing Li Jiandong brandishing a kitchen knife, everyone hid in the corner with cowering expressions on their faces. Li Jiandong is the person with the highest force value here, and no one is willing to offend him. Everyone has just been hungry for a day and has not yet lost their minds. Only the secretary in black stockings, who had exposed the little fat man's secret before, cautiously came over. Brother, I also have merit, give me some. Li Jiandong thought for a while, stretched out his fingers, pinched a pinch of sugar, and stuffed it into the woman's mouth. The secretary in black stockings had bright eyes and stuck out her tongue to lick greedily. Seeing this scene, Li Jiandong felt extremely satisfied. In the corner, there was a young man with a flat head clenching his fists and looking unwilling. He is an admirer of the secretary in black stockings and works in the same company as her. The woman in black stockings quickly licked the sugar clean. Brother, can you give me a little more? The secretary in black stockings licked her lips with dissatisfaction. Li Jiandong pushed the woman away impatiently and scolded, no more. Then, he glanced at Nan Shien. I thought to myself, if only you could take the initiative like this woman. Li Jiandong went straight to the corner and began to enjoy sugar and cucumber. It made everyone swallow their saliva. Li Jiandong remained vigilant and never left his weapon. After a while, the food was basically gone, leaving only a little sugar. Li Jiandong suddenly said, "Manager Nan, do you want to eat?" Li Jiandong handed the sugar to Nan Ru's cigarette holder with a hint of mockery in his tone. Facing the temptation of sugar, Nan Rian shook her head and refused. "You can't eat this candy. If you eat it, Li Jiandong will become even more aggressive." Li Jiandong was a little disappointed when Nan Rian refused to eat. After licking it clean, he stood up again and came to everyone. Everyone looked puzzled, not knowing what he was going to do. He cleared his throat and looked around. "Everyone, listen to what I have to say. We have run out of food. If we stay like this, we will definitely die. In the end, our place will evolve into a situation where people cannibalize people like those on the internet. You don't want to see this situation, right?" After hearing Li Jiandong's words, the crowd suddenly became slightly commotion, and everyone was talking about it. "If you continue to wait, you are indeed courting death. But if we don't hide here, what else can we do? What good ideas do you have?" Li Jiandong nodded with satisfaction and continued. "All the existing food was consumed yesterday. I think we should find a way to get out of here while everyone still has the strength. Jinding Hotel not only has a kitchen, but also has certain food in some rooms. I have observed that there are not many zombies outside. I suggest that everyone rush out together and settle down to their fate." After hearing this, some people were moved, while others hesitated. At this time, a strong middle-aged man echoed, "I think what Li Jiandong said makes sense. If you wait now, you will die. There are really not many zombies outside the door, only about 8. And there are 13 of us here. The implication is self-evident. If one person feeds a zombie, 5 people can escape." Li Jiandong glanced at the muscular man and nodded in approval. "That's right. That's what I mean. While we still have the strength to run, let's fight to the death. Life and death are in your own hands." Everyone looked at each other and seemed to be thinking. Li Jiandong wanted to continue striking while the iron was hot, but the fat man beside him interrupted. "But this is unfair. Let's rush out together. Isn't it just to compete with who can run faster? Those of you who are in good physical condition and can run fast, the probability of survival is definitely much higher than those of us who run slowly." When everyone heard this, they started talking a lot. "Yes, the faster you run, the greater your chance of survival. If we women run slowly, then we deserve to cover for you." "I don't agree. To put it bluntly, if you want to survive, you don't need to run faster than zombies, you just need to run faster than most people." When the little fat man saw that he had ruined Li Jiandong's plan, a flash of pride flashed in his heart. "You deserve it if you steal my food." Li Jiandong stared at the little fat man with a sinister smile on his lips. "Little fat man, you asked this question well, very well." In response to what he said, "I have a suggestion." Everyone gradually became quiet. Li Jiandong smiled and said, "In order to improve everyone's survival rate, we must have someone to sacrifice and serve as bait. If someone runs ahead first, it will naturally attract the attention of some zombies, and then the survival probability of the person running behind will be significantly increased." Having said this, Li Jiandong glanced at the little fat man meaningfully. The little fat man's eyes widened and he felt something bad in his heart. Everyone understood it and their eyes lit up. Li Jiandong continued, "Now that everyone thinks it's time to venture out, then you little fat guy, not only have you eaten the most in the past 2 days, but you've also hidden some things secretly." Li Jiandong pointed at the little fat man with a righteous look on his face. "You are a sinner among us and you need to contribute to everyone." I. The little fat man's face turned pale instantly. Li Jiandong looked around and said with a smile, "I think the little fat man is suitable as a charge position. He can run out in advance to attract the attention of zombies. What do you think?" Everyone looked at each other and spoke one after another. I agree. Everyone agreed. "Anyway, as long as you don't sacrifice yourself." Li Jiandong nodded with satisfaction. The little fat man was originally a waiter here. He had the lowest status and had no friendship with them, the original corporate elites. He eats the most and dares to hide things secretly. If you make a mistake, it is best to use it as bait. If you don't choose him, who should you choose? No, I don't agree. Why me? the little fat man said, scratching his neck. Li Jiandong's eyes flashed coldly. He flashed the kitchen knife in his hand and said sternly. Everyone has agreed. Do you want to offend the public? I'm telling you, you have no choice. Either use it as bait, or I will kill you now and use your body as bait. The little fat man was so frightened that his body trembled and his face looked extremely ugly. Li Jiandong paused, then continued to comfort him. Actually, your mission is very simple, and you may not die. What if you get rid of the zombies? Or the zombies are not interested in you? In short, we each have our destiny. What do you think? Everyone exchanged glances and began to persuade. Little fat man, just agree to it. You eat the most these days. Yes, if you still hide things, consider it as atonement. The little fat man's face was pale and his eyes were dull. In the face of everyone's criticism, he was a little at a loss and didn't know what to do. Okay. Seeing everyone saying this, the little fat man looked at the knife in Li Jiandong's hand and had no choice but to agree. Everyone agreed. Now that you have decided to take the risk, start preparations immediately. They formed gangs one after another and started to form teams. The crew-cut young man mustered up the courage to step forward and team up with the woman in black stockings. The woman in black stockings hesitated for a moment, then nodded in agreement. In the corner, Nan Shien also ignited a glimmer of hope. Manager Nan, you must follow me closely, I will run with you. Li Jiandong stared at Nan Shien greedily. Okay. Nan Shien forced out a smile. Not long after, everyone is ready. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.